Then I can just hand to Fletch.
Did what?
to win 5 in a row going into the end of this competition, but the way it's panned out so far, 9 matches, bottom of the Northern Group, it's not likely.
No, but cricket is a funny game. You've been spending too much time with Fletcher, I think.
I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry. That's a tough one to throw at you. 4 minutes into the programme? But look, it's been a bleak summer in this format.
Yeah, it's every game is a knockout game now, as Samit alluded to at the top of the show. So every match that they lose is just less and less chance of getting to knockout stage.
How do you think the players will be dealing with the situation they find themselves in with 5 matches to go?
They know exactly what they need to do. If they don't do it, then it's going to be a torrid sort of tournament that they've had. So they know exactly what to do. They're at a brilliant home ground. They've had a fantastic record here. So it's made up of a good game.
You've played on this ground. What are the differences here at Queen's Park?
I just think that proximity effect that they have here, literally the crowd are breathing down your neck. So more Derbyshire fans, so hopefully they give the Yorkshire players a bit of stick. Nothing like the Western Terrace, but still, no, the Derbyshire fans always come out here and are very vocal.
Just to paint the picture, if you've not been to Queen's Park before, we're currently sat in a gazebo. You will have heard at the top of the programme us dodging cricket balls as they were flying in as the Yorkshire team warm up directly in front of us. There is just a thick slab of concrete, almost a road in front of us between us and the boundary. So we are right in and amongst it. You couldn't be closer to the action on BBC Radio Derby this afternoon. To our left is where the bulk of the supporters are. We've got the posh seats to our right and the gazebo neighbouring us to our right-hand side, the pavilion to our left, and plenty of supporters, plenty of bars, plenty of places to go get some food and some bits and bobs before the action gets underway at 2:30. But it's always such a well-supported event. Do you look forward to this fixture, Greg, as a player?
Yeah, these are the games where you want to be involved in. Massive rivalry, a lot of history these games have, especially here at Chesterfield as well. It's just set up for hopefully a really good day and a really positive result for Derbyshire.
I almost think the supporters will be able to hear everything. Maybe not quite everything, but who were those players when you played at Derbyshire that were loud and vocal, trying to wind up the opposition and trying to get in their head?
I think you've got some cheeky chappies in most of the teams. Alex Hughes was probably one of the cheekiest out there, but I think with the team that they've got, you don't look any further than Samit. He's a competitor. He's always up for the battle. He's probably the loudest, and I think when you come to these sort of grounds, you can really hear his passion, especially being so close to the pitch and the action.
Samit Patel, interesting character, I think it's fair to say. He's had to do a lot of interviews, of course, being the captain this summer of the white ball team. Do you think Derbyshire have got the most out of him, or has he given the most to Derbyshire?
It's a difficult question, that one is. I think there's a lot more spotlight on Samit because of his success. One person cannot win every single game. He's given it his all. It's not anything down to effort. I just think when he goes, somebody's got to go around him as well. So it's a difficult one. It always was, coming from Notts to Derby, but I think he's given it a really good stab, and Derbyshire have everything going for them if they can get this one over the line.
Fletch, his ego will be bruised, won't it, Samit Patel?
No question, yeah. Samit Patel has come to Derbyshire to win games of cricket, and under his leadership they haven't quite won enough games of cricket. I think it's fair to say when you look at it, Derbyshire with just the 2 wins this season, and they didn't qualify last season either. So, yes, it will hurt Samit Patel. I don't think there's any question about it. You saw yesterday when he got Liam Livingstone out. This is Liam Livingstone on one leg. He did the old "he's in my pocket" thing again last night, which he's starting to favour this season. I quite like it, I must admit. And every wicket that he takes, he celebrates. Last season, when they beat Notts at home for the first time forever, nobody was happier than Samit Patel. I don't think you can question his commitment to this team. Whether his form has been good enough, on occasions it has. I mean, we saw a superb bowling performance just a couple of games ago. So he's still got it, the lad. I like the way he hides himself at short mid-wicket. I think that's quite brave. Yeah, Samit's been a good addition. When the thing I always refer back to, and I know we're 12 months on from when it all happened, but when they signed these players, they signed Pat Brown, they're thinking, oh, he's a good white ball player. Samit Patel signs. Ross Whiteley comes back. He's had a terrific career, won the Blast twice with Worcestershire and Hampshire, and nobody at that stage said, well, why are they signing them? And the only time they've said, well, why are they signing, or why did they sign them, is when it hasn't quite worked. And hindsight's a wonderful thing in sport, isn't it?
It is a wonderful thing, but you look at where Samit Patel is in his career, that's a valid question, isn't it? He's not going to perform at the level he's played at his entire career.
Well, he's fit as a fiddle, and I don't care what shape he is. In fact, I think he's in better shape now than he was in his latter years at Nottinghamshire, and he was discarded by England because he was perceived as not being fit enough, which has never been the case. He never misses, he never gets injured. It's a matter of form, and yes, your form is going to dip the older you get, but Wayne Madson's form hasn't dipped, so everyone's saying, well, what a great give Wayne another 12 months because he's playing well. Well, give Samit a contract because he's playing well and he's got a proven track record. Then he dips in form, and that's the issue. It's the form issue rather than whether he can do it. I'm still convinced that he can do it, the same as Ross Whiteley. They just need to find that form.
It adds to that conversation, though, doesn't it? We were talking about Lancashire yesterday, Greg, and we were looking at all the England internationals with Liam Livingston and so on. So many high-profile players, not even picking Jimmy Anderson in their team yesterday. Derbyshire don't have that luxury. They don't have those players that everyone from world cricket will look at and know and be renowned in the game. So someone like Samit Patel does, as you say, stick out a bit more for his reputation.
Yeah, and I think even though Derbyshire haven't done well, I think you can really, the commitment, the desire and the effort. He's a competitor. He wants to win. He's probably the most competitive out there on the field. But when they signed him, the spotlight was always going to be on him.
Yep, and it always will be, I guess. We're always going to talk about Samit Patel because he's just one of those characters. He's fantastic to watch on his day, and
I've got his stats. He's got 250s this season, Samit Patel, in this competition, 173 runs. He'd have liked a few more runs, I don't think there's any doubt about that, but he's got 9 wickets at 24, 3 catches as well. I mean, he's certainly contributed this season. He's contributed as much as anybody else. It's a bit like when Derbyshire went to Lancashire in the county championship earlier this season, and Lancashire were being dubbed as the worst team in the country. And we had discussions about that, and we came to the decision that they were a very good side that just wasn't playing very well. And now all of a sudden they are playing very well. So if Samit and the rest of this team can play well, by their very definition, they'll start to win more games of cricket. It'll be too late for this season, sadly. But they will play well at some point, I'm sure. Well, they played well a couple of weekends ago when they won on the Friday night and then on the Saturday afternoon. So
it's just that inconsistency, isn't it? That's...
Yeah, it's a bit more than inconsistency, losing the first 5. That's what's really damaged them. They should have beaten
too consistent then.
Yeah, well, yes, but they should have beaten Northamptonshire in that opening game. Remember that?
Yeah.
We went to that one and they had a real chance. They had a proper chance yesterday as well. They just haven't been able to take them.
No, they certainly haven't. Just a quick one before we head to the All England Club and get an update from Sonny Cartel's match at the moment. Alex Thompson into the side. Anything to do, Fletch, with the 3 wickets here last summer?
I think everything to do with as Samit there said at just after the toss, this is his ground. Alex Thompson picked up 2 wickets in the first over, didn't he? And Yorkshire fell apart after that. And it's always good to see Yorkshire fall apart at any point, but especially here at Queen's Park. So yeah, he'll have great memories. He has played in the T20 this season. The interesting one for me is Harry Kane, and we spoke about him yesterday. Hasn't played since June last year at Old Trafford in a game you won't be surprised to hear that Derbyshire lost after Lancashire made 179. Sounds a bit familiar to me. He was the second top scorer for Derbyshire that day. The top scorer is the man he replaced, Brooke Guest. So Brooke's a little unfortunate, but they just want to strengthen the batting a bit. And Harry Kane, with the greatest of respect to Brooke Guest, is a little more dynamic than Guest. Guest's a proper wicket-keeper batsman, and I know he batted at 2 or 3 seasons ago in red ball cricket, but he's much more of a nudger and a nerdler than he is. He can hit the ball cleanly, but Harry Kane really can hit the ball.
Greg, you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, and I also think as well, the difficulty that Harry Kane's got is he's got to come he's come into the team to replace Guest. However, he's come into a big match where Derbyshire have to win, and if they don't get enough runs or they don't chase it down, it always seems like the batsmen are pointed out and get highlighted for their performance.
10-year record on this ground for Derbyshire against Yorkshire, 7 matches in a row. As I said at the top, it can't go wrong.
Nothing. What could possibly go wrong? Full house. The full house signs were going up on Wednesday. That was when they officially announced that all the tickets for this game have been sold. And it's just so good to see a cricket ground absolutely packed. The atmosphere will be lively. It will be lively, and it'll get more lively the more refreshment the supporters take. So yeah, well, it won't get quite as bad, I don't think, as a couple of years ago when we had people running around the outfield with nothing on, but you never know.
You never know.
We might strike it lucky.
Dave Fletcher, Greg Cork, thank you very much. We'll be back with you in just a moment. It's 2:15. Let's turn our attention to day 7 at Wimbledon, featuring the last 2 remaining British players in the singles draw, as well as the men's defending champion and the women's world number 1. John Wilkinson is watching on centre court for us. John, good afternoon to you. Shall we start with Sunny Cartel then? How's she getting on? Blowing, the skies are grey above us. We were anticipating rain at about 2:30 this afternoon. At the same time, the match was due to get underway, but at the moment we're fighting it off. We're under shelter in our gazebo, but the supporters are all out in the open and could fall victim to the weather at any point. The mascots are all in good spirit as well as they wait to our left-hand side by the pavilion, awaiting the two sides. If you're just joining us, Patel, Derbyshire's captain, won the toss. And Derbyshire will bowl first here this afternoon against Yorkshire. 7 in a row. Can they make it to 8? Would you want to know too much about that record, Greg, coming into this game? Would you want to keep hearing that it's 7 in a row?
You can take a little bit of confidence from it, but it's a new game, new day. It's got nothing to do with history now, so as I keep on reiterating, it's a knockout game, so I don't know whether that puts more pressure on them knowing the stat or just knowing it's a knockout game.
I just like the idea that you think it's a knockout game and they haven't already been knocked out, because they pretty much have. Let's face it, I have to keep asking Sam until he finally admits defeat.
Will he ever, Greg, do you think?
Will he ever what, sorry?
Admit defeat. I think he'll have to at some point, because it's going to happen fairly soon that Derbyshire will no longer be able to qualify. I'm going to look at the table now and just try and work out when it is.
You thought that from game 1, Fletch?
That's harsh. That's very, very, very harsh. This time last year, no, not this time last year, but at the start of the T20 last year, I was calling them the Harlem Globetrotters, so they were going to win the whole thing, and it didn't quite pan out. So I've tempered my expectations. I didn't temper them quite as much as we've had to temper them, as it turns out, and that they have been, unfortunately, as bad as they have been, because there's no getting away from it. As I mentioned again to Sam there, they've bowled well and batted poorly, or they've batted well and bowled poorly in too many games, and if you do that, you simply can't qualify, can you? Because at the moment, the Bears are in 4th place, they're on 5 wins, Derbyshire have got 2, so even if Derbyshire win 3, they'll only be level with them, and they've only got 2 more on top of that. I mean, mathematically, it's not over. But realistically, it will be very surprising to see Derbyshire in the quarter-final of the T20.
We saw Mohamed Ghazanfar open the bowling yesterday at Old Trafford. What do you think he'll be thinking here at Queen's Park? This will be something quite new to him.
He'll be thinking, what am I doing here? Yes, it will be completely different to him, but we've seen...
But this is what's great about this, isn't it? You've got 2 overseas internationals playing at Queen's Park, and it is such a different experience.
Well, Kellerjules sort of got the benefit of having played here, but he was out quite early in both of his innings in the first-class game because, unfortunately, Jimmy Anderson's got his number in red ball cricket, certainly got him all 4 times that they've played this season, but he has been here before. Mohamed Ghazanfar, I don't recall seeing him during the red ball game, so whether he was back at Derby training or taking in the sights of the Peak District, I'm not entirely sure. But Haider Ali came here and he enjoyed it, and going back over the years, I talk of a Martin Guptill flat 6 earlier on, he loved it when he was playing here as well. So I don't think it's, once they get out there, it's just a cricket pitch with an awful lot of people as opposed to a cricket pitch with a few people who are in the distance. That's the main difference, is the proximity, as Greg was saying before, the proximity of the supporters to the outfield is something to behold, and I just hope that they all make sure that they're watching the cricket rather than talking to each other when the play gets underway, because it's quite a dangerous place to be, a cricket field and a first-class T20 match, because these boys can hit the ball a long way.
What do you want to see then, Greg, when it gets underway in 6 minutes' time from Derbyshire, other than a win, obviously?
I don't know whether I go off Fletcher's theory about losing so many wickets in the power play, but I think...
I've got a new stat on that, but carry on.
We can discuss that later. Look, Yorkshire's lineup's very powerful. Obviously, they've got Johnny Bairstow at the top of the order who can take away any game from you, and especially in the power play, probably utilising the two fielders outside the ring. But hopefully, hasn't seen too much of Ghazanfar, who I'm guessing will be opening the bowling, and especially on a pitch that's not a first-class regular ground. Maybe there's a bit more give for spinners out there, and that's maybe why Thompson has played as well.
Interesting that it's a hybrid. I didn't realise it was going to be a hybrid, but that's what we were told. It's a hybrid pitch as well, which has got 5% of the nylon in it. So whether it's supposed to help spinners. They reckon there's a bit more grip for spinners. So they've got Thompson, they've got Gazanfar, they've got Samit Patel himself. I did suggest to somebody high up in the coaching staff earlier that Harry Kane could turn his arm over, but the suggestion was poo-pooed, as they might have to be in a lot of trouble before Harry bowls his particular brand of off-spin. But they have got 3 spinners. Yorkshire themselves, Don Best, Jaffa Chauhan, they've got enough spinners there as well. So it could be spin it to win it, as some people have said in the past.
Well, Johnny Bairstow over our left shoulder getting ready to go in this one. It's just another example, isn't it? Every counter you come up against, you seem to look towards one player and you just think, gosh, you just don't really have that luxury in terms of international renowned cricketers.
Well, I've been holding off saying it, but the last international that Derbyshire produced, Dominic Cork. And that was a while ago. He's certainly not looking now as though he could play international cricket when I saw him on the telly the other day. And that's a real problem for Derbyshire, is that they almost became irrelevant for so many years. Pat Brown has played international T20 cricket for England when he was at Worcestershire. But of those players out there, Gazanfar will play for Afghanistan. I don't think there's much doubt about that at some point in the future, but he hasn't played international cricket yet. Wayne Madson's played for Italy, but I'm not sure that counts. They don't have. You're right, and every other team you go to, there's, well, he's played for England, or he used to play for England, and it hasn't been the case at Derbyshire that they have had these international players. I mean, they're going to start with David Milan, who was at one point in his career the #1 rated T20 batsman in the world, and Johnny Bairstow, who's quite useful. It's going to be tough. So the key for Derbyshire, as they run out onto the pitch through the youngsters forming the Guard of Honour, the key for Derbyshire will be to take a couple of early wickets. That stat that I was telling you about, I saw it on a stream on Friday night. Somebody's crunched the numbers, and in the modern era, if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, you've got about a 33% chance of winning the game, because obviously the game has evolved into a game where the likes of Ross Whiteley come in and finish and can score lots of runs late on. But it's still, if you lose 3 wickets, you're more likely to lose the game than you are to win it.
We're all set here at Queen's Park. Can they make it 8 in a row against Yorkshire on this precious ground here in Chesterfield? Find out in the company of former Derbyshire man Greg Cork and your match commentator Dave Fletcher.
Thank you very much, Dominic. I spotted it today. Packed out Queen's Park. I completely missed my cue yesterday in the second inning, so I've already done better today than I did yesterday, Greg. And it's going to be Alex Thompson to open the bowling. There's the thing. Tomo, first over. Unsurprising, I would think. The 2 men out, and it's very difficult to see from where we are because we're at ground level. It's all right in a county championship match, but when you get down ground level in a T20, I'm making all our excuses nice and early. The man out on the mid-wicket boundary, who is probably Pat Brown, and a man down at long leg who is Harry Kame, the way he's pulling his sleeves up there. That's very Harry Kame-ish. And Mohammed Gazanfar is also warming up as well. He is going to be at short fine leg. There's a short third. There are 3 other men on the circle, in fact 4 on the circle. Wayne Madsen is slightly in from the circle on the offside, and Samit Patel's doing something bizarre at mid-wicket, stretching-wise. And here we go, Alex Thompson in to bowl the first ball, and it's pushed out into the offside by Johnny Bairstow, and there's no run. Good start.
Yeah, lovely dot ball. I think it'll be interesting to see how many balls Johnny gives himself before.
That might have been it. Here comes Thompson again. Bairstow goes for the sweep, but he's swept it straight to the man at short fine leg, Gazanfar. So just the 1 run there for Bairstow. It brings David Milan on to bat. A bit early for that, I think, boys. The boys playing the sun. See, there's 2 people responded to that. It's absolutely pointless. 2 people. David Milan is now on strike at 1 without loss. Get ready for the bugle. Followed by that Queen thing that they do as well. They do a Queen thing, don't they? I don't know what it is, but they do it. It's one of the perils. T20 cricket is a terrific. Well, that's the effects microphone. Has gone for a ball of chalk as well up there. Don might need to just face it in the right direction at some point if he can reach. Here comes Thompson in and bowls to Milan, who just pushes it straight back to the Derbyshire off spinner. And there is no run. Oh, he'll easy reach it. Look, it's my taping up hasn't really worked. No, it's not going to work. Might have to wait until the second half. I think it's made it worse. Thompson in and bowls to Milan, who pushes this into the offside. Another double good over this from Tomo.
I think as well, because it's a club ground as well, they just want and a hybrid wicket. They just want to see how it reacts to taking spin.
Feels okay. I'm not sure the microphone was turned on in any case, but it is now. The posh seats are full away to our right-hand side in front of the big marquee as Thompson comes in and bowls to Milan, who pushes this one back to him as well. That's one run off the first 5 balls of the match. They're effectively turning it into a 19-over game here at Yorkshire by the look of it. They're wary. They know their record here. As Thompson bowls, Milan goes down the track and hits it just over the left hand of the man on the edge of the circle at cover. Pat Brown reached up, couldn't quite get there. It was very, very close to Brown. It goes all the way to the boundary for 4 at the end of 1. It's 5 without loss.
If anybody had a chance of catching that, I'd put my money on, or I'd like it to go towards Pat Brown's direction. I think he may have just got a small fingertip.
I think so. And we are going to see Mohamed Ghazanfar from the pavilion end. Thompson was bowling from the lake end. Oh, the lake is slightly to the left, as we all know, but it is the lake end. I don't think anybody's deposited a ball in the lake. I haven't heard Puffing Billy too much today either. The train that goes around the lake. The bank away to our left is absolutely packed. Really good to see. Plenty of eating and drinking options on the back of the bank as well, which is always a good thing, I think, when you go to a cricket match. I think I'd quite like to be there. Dom's not quite got the idea there of standing in front of the media tent, but Ghazanfar is in and bowls to Best, who goes back and pushes it out to the offside for a single to Pat Brown. 6 for 1. For none, rather. I think those restricted views behind the trees must be slightly annoying out there. What's happened here? Oh, some of his own teammates have got in his way because it's a long way across to the right, this pitch, so the entire Yorkshire team is having to move to their right. It's caused consternation because Ghazanfar is going to come around the wicket to Dawid Malan. Harry Kane just warming his hands up at long off just in front of us. Goes a little bit squarer. Ghazanfar hopping a skip and he's on his way, and that's down the leg side. It's taken by an Aaron Donald, but it is signalled wide by umpire. That's Steve O'Shaughnessy. It's Neil Pratt is the other, and it's Gary Pratt. That's a throwback. That's the Ashes in 2005.
A very tame start by these two so far.
Isn't it? It worries me. As you can imagine, here is Ghazanfar in to bowl to Milan. Oh, almost chops on there. He actually chopped the ball into his pads rather, which it had been into his stumps. So it's a really good start by the Derbyshire spinners. Samit Patel will be drooling at mid-wicket, I'm sure. There is a slip in place where Madsen is fielding at slip as Ghazanfar goes in again, and that one is down the leg side, a long way down the leg side, in fairness. It's another run to the Yorkshire total, and move on to 8. 2 to Bairstow, 4 to Milan at this stage. It's got an old-fashioned scoreboard here at Chesterfield. It hasn't got the whistles and bells that we're used to at a headquarters ground, so forgive me if we make a slight error every now and again as Ghazanfar bowls, and this one has been lifted into the offside. It's going to drop short of Kane, who runs around the boundary, hurls the ball back in and keeps him down to a single. That's excellent work from Harry Kane. He got round really quickly. He's a very good boundary fielder, Harry.
Yeah, it looks very quick as well. And going back to the scoreboard, I always find it funny, these massive scoreboards that they have, and the batsmen are still asking how many balls are left. Why don't you just look at the scoreboard? Look at the scoreboard.
Different on a ground like this, I'd be asking. I've got no idea. I think there's 2 left. No, because there have been a wide, so it might be 3. Gazanfar bowls, and that's turned into the leg side by Bairstow. Jewell gets around, moves to the edge of the circle, and then throws the ball back in. 10, potentially without loss here.
Both being very watchful here. I think that's just because of the conditions, and they don't want to lose early wickets. These two bat for a good 5 to 10 overs,
And
put them in a really good position.
We can't rest easy at any ground really when watching Derbyshire at the moment in T20 cricket. Here is Gazanfar in and bowls, and that's again defended by Milan. Fortunate at the moment in that the out there in the middle is a left and a right hander. I like that. Helps me. But the number 51 on the back of Bairstow's shirt's quite a big help as well. But Milan, the left hander. This could be the last ball of the over. He's in and bowls to it, and he's gone big, and he's smashed it, but he didn't time it properly. He picks up a single out to mid-wicket. It was the last ball of the over. 6 off that one, 5 off the first, and after 2 overs here at Chesterfield, Queen's Park, Yorkshire 11 without loss.
It's not bad going, is it?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Maybe they haven't played on a hybrid wicket before. They're just used to these nice, flat, hard Headingley wickets where they can just hit through the line of the ball. So that's probably why they're being a little bit wary, just with the makeup of the wicket.
Interesting, Thompson's going to have another over from the lake end, and you always think if you have multiple overs, the batters know what Thompson's doing now, so it's fresh in their memory. And Dawid Malan, who is on 6 and has hit the only boundary so far, is facing. Around the wicket comes Thompson. Malan goes back, makes room for himself and launches this one out to extra cover. There we go. He lined him up into the seats and then bouncing over the toilet block and out of the ground. Not quite, it's been thrown back, but the first 6 of the match, and you always felt, give him another over. He bowled beautifully in the first one. Now he's gone for more runs off the first ball of his second over than he went in the entirety of his first. What will Thompson's reply be? He bowls, and Milan just turns it into the leg side. Good stop by Zach Chappell, who won't mind me, well, he might mind me saying it.
It's a long way down for him.
Well, it's a long way down, and he's been in the gym that much. He's a bit like Woody. He's a bit muscle-bound, I always think. I mean, he needs that strength, obviously, for bowling, in the same way that Woody needs it for his batting, occasionally. As in comes Thompson, that one is pushed by Bairstow towards long on. In comes Harry Kane to do the fielding. And at Yorkshire move on to 19 without loss here in the 3rd over after Derbyshire won the toss, decided to have a bowl first, as they did yesterday. Unfortunately, the 178 that Lancashire scored proved to be far too many. Smaller ground, they wouldn't want to be chasing much more than 180, 190 here as a leading edge off Milan's bat. He's going to go through for a single. He was trying to turn it into leg, and it went out towards Pat Brown, who was on the edge of the circle at cover.
Thompson really bowled that into the wicket, and looks like it span quite a bit.
We might have to remove the effects microphone. I'll just turn it down for a moment. It might be better if it's just dangling somewhere, but it's been hopeless where it is, I'm afraid. And that one is played into the offside by Bairstow. It's gone all the way for 4. I'm not entirely sure how it got there, if I'm honest, because I was looking at the effects microphone. Can you help?
Just chipped it over extra cover, and I believe that's probably where the wind's going, direction of the wind as well. Can't really see him, just going off the trees here. Oh no, there's a flag by the scorecard there.
It's blowing a lot, isn't it? There we go. We're going to get the effects microphone back, as that one is chopped out into the offside, fielded by Caleb Jewell, and they go through for a single. It's the end of the over. 24 without loss after 3, then 8 and over. Even I can work that out. There were 13 runs off that one. I don't think that is out of the way, really, if I'm honest. And we're going to see a bit more pace for the first time. Zach Chappell, I think that makes sense. They've had 3 overs of looking at spinners.
And also as well, it's a fairly new ball as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he, whether there's any movement in this hybrid wicket.
3 overs in, I'm not sure how much movement will be through the air, but he is bowling what would be his away swinger to David Malan, with the wind coming from the left as we look out from the pavilion, so coming from the west, which is where the weather comes from as well, and I can see some blue sky, which is excellent news. Around about 11 o'clock this morning, it was tipping it down here at Queen's Park, but everything's okay now. And in goes Zach Chappell to bowl to Milan, who launches this back down the ground. That doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing. That's gone a long, long way. It's gone over the pavilion. Blimey, that's gone an awful long way. That's a clean hit.
That's a long hit as well, back into the wind. I think he was just ready to line that up.
That went an awful. It went a long way up, but it went a long way.
And this is a
down the
difficulty with the new ball and the pace that Zach has. These two international batters can just hit through the line of the ball.
Chappell at the ball beautifully yesterday. He's on his way to go, and that one's pulled around the corner, bounces before it reaches Pat Brown on the square leg boundary, and the throw hits the stumps. Excellent work. Well, I say excellent work. It was a good job that Sammy Patel was backing it up. Zach Chappell wasn't expecting it at his end at all.
No. He was expecting it just to be over the stumps to the keeper.
Would have been quite amusing. There are other games going on. The match has been delayed. The start at Chesterfield Street, Durham against the Bears because of rain. 3 o'clock start at Wantage Road. Northamptonshire taking on Worcestershire. Leicestershire taking on Nottinghamshire. Another 3 o'clock start. That one being played at Trent Bridge. Leicestershire will be batting first in that game. Do our best to keep you across the scores from the North Group as Chappell bowls, and that thuds into Bairstow's pads. He tries to flick it away down the leg side. Umpire Steve O'Shaughnessy was getting ready to signal leg by there, but they decided not to run. And it remains 31 without loss. We're in the 4th over. We got to 60 yesterday in Lancashire. Didn't work. Never does. It's all a bit old hat, isn't it? Here comes Chappell and bowls, and Bairstow inside edge into his pad. Ball dribbles out into the offside. They go through for a single. There was a half appeal there from Zach Chappell. I think he knew in his heart of hearts that he wasn't going to get anything there. The effects microphone is about 3 inches in front of me now. Too windy to put it outside, though. That's the way to do it, but theirs is hanging down. In comes Chappell. And balls to Milan, who a bit cross-batted. Oh, missed by Harry Kane, who's now feeling close in, but it didn't matter because it went through to Martin Anderson. And again, there was no run. 32 without loss. This is the last ball of the over, probably. I'm not very good at counting to 6. It's never held me back in this line of work before, of course.
You're like the weatherman. Can get it wrong and still be in a job.
Absolutely. Thank you. Chappell balls. It just dabbed into the offside. Oh, and missed by Wayne Manson. They're going to come back for a second. No, they're not. That was excellent recovery work from Wayne Manson at the end of the over. 9 from it. 33 without loss after 4. But that's still been relatively pleased, Derbyshire. I mean, you conceded 6 off the first ball and ended up going for 9. That's not too bad a recovery.
Yeah, nice and quiet start, to be fair. I was always interested to see how these two go about their business early on, and it seems like we bowl well. We bowled in some challenging areas, and just that variation. Hopefully, throughout this competition, the guys have learned that what works, what doesn't work.
Well, Pat Brown's going to come on from the lake end. Bowled beautifully yesterday. His first 2 overs were as good as he's bowled all season. I think partly, I'm sure it is, and I must ask Pat whenever I see him next to talk to. He didn't play any red ball cricket in between the end of the last round of T20 matches and the one played yesterday. He's just trying to throw a disc away, and now it's blowing away. It's rolling into the leg side. That didn't really work. So Zach Chappell, I think it is. It was Martin Anderson. to Martin Anderson because Zach Chappell's here. Puts it down. And here comes Pat Brown bowling to David Milan. 33 without loss. Milan on 22. He's hit on the pad. No bat involved. Oh my word! And the ball has run away from Gazanfar so and gone for 4, and that's a 5. And that is not ideal.
I've never actually seen that before. He threw it in.
It just took off, didn't it?
Yeah. He tried to take a quick single, got it, and it hit one of the footholes. Don't know whether it was on the actual pitch or whether it was on one of the side pitches, and flew over Caleb's head for 4.
5 off that ball because it raced away to the boundary. It bounced so high that it was still rising when Caleb Jewell was on the edge of the circle at that would have been mid-wicket. It went over his head. Here's Pat Brown in again, and that one is clipped into the leg side. Gazanfar stops it. Don't throw it, son. Throws it straight into the hands of an Aaron Donald on this occasion. That was a nice piece of fielding, actually. Went straight into his hands. Unfortunate with the bounce, shall we say, but it wasn't a great throw from where he was. Hiding him at a fine leg at the moment, Mohamed Gazanfar. They're trying to hide Zach Chappell at short third man, which I don't think is a particularly good place to hide, in all honesty, in T20 cricket, given the ball could fly off an edge. Just removing the grass from his spikes as in comes Brown again. Oh, Barstow's taken to him this time, and that's gone over the trees at the far end of the ground and into the park. That is massive, absolutely massive from Johnny Bairstow. I don't recall, in the time I've been coming here, anybody clearing those trees at the far end of the ground. I thought, waiting to see how far up that net it hit.
Yeah,
it just kept going.
That's a big hit, and they're just bringing out the box of balls. Maybe they may need more than one with if these two keep going.
That was huge, absolutely huge. And that is the first 6 that Johnny Bairstow's hit to go along with the 2 that David Milan has hammered. A couple of them very straight. One of Milan's went out to the bank as well. So trying to harness these 2 England international batters is going to be very difficult indeed.
And still probably could both be playing international cricket. Got the ability, got the experience.
Yes, victims of the Bazball era, basically, these 2. Ross Whiteley's coming in off the boundary, and they're sending Alex Thompson out to the mid-wicket, straight mid-wicket boundary. So the 2 men outside the circle are both on the leg side boundary, and one of them's Harry Kane at square leg. He's been everywhere so far in his first game of the season in the T20 Blast. And Pat Brown has been given something to think about here. He's conceded actually there were leg byes to start with, which is even worse. 5 leg byes they turned out to be, but he's conceded 11. Only 6 credited to him as Bairstow takes a step and then basically flat bats it straight back over his head. He took a step into the leg side and was reaching for it as Brown put it outside the off stump and still got enough on it for it to go all the way down the hill for 4 more.
Tried to give him a bit of room. Nobody's out on the offside on the boundary, and tried to give him a bit more room. And it's you always as a bowler wanted to try and double bluff. And I think he's just been outsmarted by Bairstow.
I've been worried about this, and Dom said what possibly could go wrong. Here comes Brown in again, bangs it in, and there's a swing and a miss there from Bairstow. Almost went round 360 degrees by the time the ball landed in and Aaron Donald's gloves. He did bowl beautifully yesterday, Pat Brown. He does get hit for 6. It's not the first time this season that he's been hit for 6. That was probably the biggest, though. That was huge.
We need to realise the batters though at the crease as well. No fault of Brown's, but he is bowling at one of the best. They're
just like bowling machines, aren't they, in this form of the game? Pat Brown is in. That one's short and down the leg side, does it? Not. Signal wide. Look at Aaron Donald was expecting it to be. End of the over. 15 from it. And when you think that 5 of those shouldn't have been scored, and one of them was a 6, again, not a bad over, but you really can get punished in this form of the game. Looks like Samet's going to bring himself on for the over number 6, is he? Or is it going to be Gazanfar? It's going to be Gazanfar. I did wonder. Samet usually bowls outside the power play if possible. I'm getting cramp here, which is bad news for everybody.
I think they're just setting up a really good, solid foundation now to kick on. Final over of the power play. It'll be interesting to see how they go about this final over. Usually it's the one that they like to go and attack.
It is. Yesterday, I'm sure there was 60 at the end of the power play, Lancashire. 12 away from that at the moment, and Mohamed Gazanfar in to bowl. He's bowled him, middle stump, and Gazanfar picks up a wicket. And Milan goes for 22. A much-needed breakthrough for Derbyshire. Yorkshire are 48 for 1.
Just tried to give himself a bit of room, go more over extra cover, but it looked like he didn't spin as much and bowled him through the gate. So, as we said, they like to attack the final over of the power play, and it's worked into Derbyshire's hands there. So, Derbyshire get one more wicket, and probably say that they've won the power play.
People keep telling me about winning power plays. Yes, I've never quite understood it, but I'm with you.
Can always be positive.
Winning the power play. Apparently Derbyshire won more power plays than they lost last season, but they didn't win more matches.
That's a big wicket, though.
Absolutely.
A big wicket now, so...
Who's it? Will Luxton? Will Luxton is the new batter. Joins Johnny Bairstow for the final 5 deliveries of the power play. 17 balls for his 22, 1 4 and 2 sixes. Which is slightly the wrong way around. A strike rate of around about 130. Pat Brown swapping places with Harry Kane. Well, he's sort of swapping places with Harry Kane. Pat Brown's coming down to long on. Capless as ever. Pat Brown. Lovely head of hair. And here is Gazanfar in and bowls to Luxton, who almost nicks one down the leg side. He missed it. It's called a wide, as they always are. It's supposed to be a bit more leeway, but the batter really does have to move a long way into the offside for it not to be signalled wide. Here comes the Afghan again. 49 for 1. That one's pushed out into the offside and fielded by Samet.
I believe Luxton is a product of the Yorkshire Academy, young lad, and looks like he's doing really well.
So many of them do. Interested to see Jordan Thompson playing for Yorkshire. He's off to Warwickshire next season. Gazanfar doesn't bowl and just runs straight through the crease and carries on. Thompson following a well-trod path from Yorkshire to Warwickshire.
Always find that interesting whether they should still play the player if he's already leaving, or whether they give the opportunity to somebody else.
Well, it'd be weird when he plays Bears, wouldn't it? As this next delivery from Gazanfar's pushed out into the offside, straight to Jewel on this occasion.
Well, in the football, they don't let them play, do they, against potentially a loanee club? I know he's moving full-time.
Well, yes, but they don't usually announce it. Cricket's one of the few, but they do it in rugby union as well. He's going to play for so-and-so next season, and you think, oh, really? Well, yeah, it seems a little strange as Gazanfar is in. Luxton goes back, turns it into the leg side and gets a single to get off the mark. And Yorkshire move to 50.
It's a strange one, because I think Jordan Thompson's done really well, and it's a shame that Yorkshire haven't tried to keep hold of him. Well, you never know what happens behind closed doors.
You don't, but he's a terrific player. He is the man who makes things happen. When you ask Radio Leeds, that's what they've dubbed him. As in comes Gazanfar again. Bairstow clips it into the leg side. They'll take a single, and that will be the end of Gazanfar's over. And at the end of the power play, no, it won't. Sammy Patel was already, he thought it was. There was a wide, wasn't there? See, I've counted to 6 and forgotten the wide, he said, trying to cover up his own ineptitude. Here is Gazanfar, probably to bowl the last ball of his Third over. Oh, he almost chops on there. Luxton. Not quite. And that is the end of the over. And at the end of the over, Yorkshire are 51 for 1. Just 3 runs off that over. A terrific over to complete the power play. And as you say, Greg, it's the over that quite often is targeted. And they've only picked up 3 runs and lost a wicket.
It can go 2 ways, can't it? And I think Derbyshire have won that, and I know I said it earlier, I would say they've won the power play. Can they take that momentum into the next 6 or 7 overs now? Bairstow obviously has been in for the past 6 overs now, so he understands what the wicket's playing like, how to play. I feel like he's probably going to hold the innings together now. He's going to be that glue.
So if they've won the power play, we'll take that as a small victory. Might have many this season. And it's Zach Chappell in to bowl to Bairstow, who chops this away. Thompson's not going to get there, and that's gone for 4. I'm not sure whether Alex Thompson picked it up or not, but it was moving, and this outfield is rapid. I mean, it was rapid during the 4-day game, and even though we've had a bit of rain since then, it's not going to have slowed up any.
And 9 times out of 10 he'll be hitting the middle of Bairstow's bat, just the calibre of batsman that he is. So he can play these low-risk shots and get maximum reward for it.
55 for 1. Bairstow on to 24. Chappell on his way into Bolton. He's pulled this away down the leg side, not taken by an Iron Donald. It was just out of his dive range, and 4 more to Bairstow. He moves to 28 now. 59 for 1 in the 7th over.
8 off the over already, and there's been really no risks at all being taken. So you think about them little wins, he's already won the first 2 balls.
See, they've got as many wins as Derbyshire. In he comes, Zach Chappell bowls it short, banged into the ground. It's out towards the boundary where Martin Anderson is fielding, and again that hits a footmark and just grubs along the ground. They've only got 1 for it, but there's some strange things going on out there when the ball is being thrown in.
It's this hybrid wicket, Fletch, do you reckon?
I don't think they should use them personally, but there we go. They're all right for training on. I don't think there's a football ground in the country, apart from the Pirelli Stadium, that isn't a hybrid surface these days. 60 for 1, a score moves on to. And Chappell, who's bowling from the Lake End here at Queen's Park, bowls to Luxton, who just taps that into the leg side for a single. 61 for 1 now. Luxton doubles his score, moves on to 2.
What Derbyshire are probably wanting to do is bowl as many balls as Luxton as possible, try and keep Bairstow off strike, trying to frustrate him, just to bowl to the new batter.
So it feels like a plan. Bairstow's spotted some. There's an awful lot of leaves on the outfield. It was like autumn earlier. Way to our left, in front of the bank, the leaves are very much in evidence on the outfield, which is something you don't generally see on a cricket field. As Chappell bowls to Bairstow, who's caught. He just tried to guide that down to third man. He didn't get enough on it. It was taken comfortably by Iron Donald, the wicket keeper, and both openers have gone now. 61 for 2 in the 7th over. Bairstow goes for 29.
Could be a massive wicket in the context of the game there. He was always going to be the dangerous batter now that they have, so...
Is that an error of judgment?
It looked like the ball bounced a little bit with Zach's height. He was backing himself, it was probably the right shot. It just bounced probably a bit too much for the batter.
4 fours, 1 6. It is 19 ball, 29. Just getting a little bit of inside information. All will be revealed shortly if he takes another wicket.
The Derbyshire version of Benedict has passed you the intel.
Yes, David Griffin, who seems to have these numbers in his head, because he's sitting on a chair taking photographs, and he's just walked across and given everybody a little nugget.
I know what his topic would be on Mastermind, you?
He'd be good, wouldn't he? Yes. Either that or the scripts of Only Fools and Horses, which he's also quite good at as well. Here's Zach Chappell then. James Wharton is the new batter, and he pushes it up towards mid-off where it's fielded by Madsen, and there is no run. Will Sutherland, Matthew Revis, Jordan Thompson, Jaffa Chauhan, Dom Bess, Will O'Rourke and Matt Milnes still to come. Good to see Matt Milnes playing cricket, in all honesty. And that big shot, sorry, Matt, up on the balcony. That's the end of the over, incidentally. 61 for 2, so 10 off it, but a wicket. So some you win, some you lose. That 6 from Dawid Malan actually landed on the balcony. It didn't go over the top. It landed on the balcony of the pavilion to our left. So that's a decent hit. The one that went over the trees from Bairstow is as big as anything I've seen at Queen's Park. Here's Martin Anderson quite early. He bowled until at least the 10th over yesterday. Bowled a couple of overs and bowled nicely. Anderson is in and bowls, and that one is pushed out towards long off for a single by Luxton.
These two now in batters need to build a partnership. I think Derbyshire would be happy. 2 main guys out of their lineup that they wanted to probably get out early already have. Now looking down the lineup, they haven't got that calibre of sort of batter, but there may be one of these two that do the job.
And goes Anderson again. He's that nagging pace and length, isn't he, Martin Anderson? That one's pushed out into the offside by Wharton. Will Sutherland, of course, who is the son of the former Cricket Australia chief executive, I think. His sister plays for Australia, and he's played in the Big Bash. So, I mean, he'll be useful as this next delivery is turned into the leg side by Wharton for a single.
Victorian lad, isn't he? Will Sutherland?
Is he?
I believe.
Excellent.
We can always go and ask him if...
He must be quite old then, if he's Victorian. 63, that was pathetic. 63 for 2. Anderson is in and bowls, and that one is driven up to long on this time by Luxton, who moves on to 64 for 2. Have I got it the wrong way around? No, scoreboards. There we go. Caught up now. That's good. 64 for 2. We're in the 8th over. Anderson into bowl, and that one is pushed down the ground very pleasantly for another single. Singles off most balls this over. First couple were dot balls. They've just got themselves into a little rhythm of singles, but Derbyshire won't mind that too much. It's the big hits that are damaging in T20 cricket. As Martin Anderson goes in again and bowls. That's clipped into the leg side by Luxton. He picks up another single. Luxton moves on to 5. At the other end, Wharton has 2, and at the end of the over, just 4 runs from it. 65 for 2.
We talk about quiet overs in T20, and if they can get a couple of quiet overs there, then they're really in the driving seat here.
Here's the main man. What kind of form will Samit Patel be in today? I did like his celebration when he managed to get Liam Livingston stumped yesterday when he pointed to his pocket. Yeah, that's where you are, son.
And he got Butler out as well. Walton bowled.
Yeah, yes, a very strange dismissal. It might have been Butler. It might have been the Butler dismissal. He got Tom Moores out as well at Trent Bridge and did the same thing when they won at Trent Bridge earlier this season. He comes in and bowls. There's an attempt to sweep it. There's an appeal from Zach Chappell, who's in no position to see whether that was a leg before or not. And leg by is signalled as Yorkshire move on to 67. 66 for 2. That one's already... Oh, no, 67. So I was wrong. It was 66 for 2 at the end of the last over. No, I've just got it written down wrong.
And what Sammy will want to do is he'll want to try and get through these overs as quick as possible.
Round the wicket he bowls to Wharton, who clips him up to long on. In off the boundary comes Kame. Wharton moves on to 3. 68 for 2. Yeah, if you can sneak 3 or 4 overs in really quickly, all of a sudden you look at the scoreboard and you've only got 7 overs left instead of 10. Makes a huge difference. So Samit's in again. That one's pushed up towards long on by Luxton once again. Another single is taken. Most of these Derbyshire players would have played in this game last season. The Yorkshire team looks completely different to me. Milnes didn't play much last year. Will O'Rourke, of course, the Kiwi. This one is, well, guess what? Pushed up towards long on for a single by Wharton. He moves on to 470 for 2 in the 9th over. Again, singles are all right. Haven't had a boundary since the 7th over. That one is pushed up towards long on by Luxton for a single. 71 for 2.
Where's this going?
I think he might go up to long on for a single, but I'm not sure. Samet is in, and he goes back and pushes it out in the offside just by way of a change, but straight to Wayne Madsen. The over comes to an end. 5 from it, 71 for 2 after 9. I think that's another good over, really. 5 from it, 9 off the last 2.
Really well controlled now. As I said, them 2 wickets at the top makes a big difference with the momentum of this game.
Tom's having a go at me there. They'll be throwing T-shirts at some point. That's always very exciting. It's a little bit like watching the gulls eating chips. Here is Martin Anderson with 2 S's on his way in and bowls. That one is off a thigh pad into the leg side for a leg bye of Wharton. No, Luxton. And they move to 72 for 2. As I say, the last boundary came in the 7th over, the second ball of the 7th over. It was that one just tickled away fine by Bairstow. As this one, when he tries to club it into the leg side, does Wharton. He does get it into the leg side, but straight to Ross Whiteley. I think he's touching the ball for about the first time. It's easy money for Ross, isn't it?
Yeah, normally he's in the hot spot areas.
Always feels on the boundary. Ross Whiteley, as does Pat Brown, actually. They're sort of opposite each other at the moment. Whiteley out at a straightish mid-wicket as that one is clipped into the leg side. Here's Ross Whiteley again, everybody, just to make sure that he's on his mettle. Fields another one. Yorkshire move on to 74 for 2. Trying up the boundaries has been well done by the Derbyshire bowlers at the moment as Anderson trots in and bowls. No, he hasn't kept that one quiet. That's gone all the way for 6 out towards the nets. And that was a big-ish hit from James Wharton. The first boundary since the 7th over is a 6. And they look like they might, or he might just have lined up Martin Anderson now.
Just a little bit on the shorter side than his normal stock length. And he just sat up with the pace that he's bowling at.
Wharton moves on to 11. It's 80 for 2. Approaching the halfway stage of the Yorkshire innings. This one has been carved away into the offside. That might go for 4 as well. It does. It was a bit too short and a bit too wide, really. Outside the off stump, and he doesn't miss out. He's gone for 10 runs off his last 2 balls. After we'd said there hadn't been a boundary, we get 2 in 2. And all of a sudden, Yorkshire had moved on to 84 for 2. This is the last ball of the first half of the Yorkshire innings, and Wharton is slowly getting into his stride. He's on 15 now, as that hits his pad and it goes down towards fine leg. Is Zach Chappell going to chase it? It's running down the hill. It's running down the hill. The slide seemed to take him away from the ball, and it's gone all the way down to the boundary for 4 leg byes. And at the end of the power play, Yorkshire are 88 for 2. Who's going to be the happier, Greg?
I think it's 50-50. Once these batters look like they were just nurdling it around, but usually when you hit one boundary, you just pick up the pace of the wicket, and it just gets that momentum going, really. So if they can, obviously you've got the foxy bowler of Samet on at the moment, so hopefully he can control the pace.
First ball of the new over has been clipped out towards the mid-wicket boundary. Nice piece of fielding there from Harry Kane to give it to Pat Brown, and they get back for a couple, but he saved 2 there, no question. I don't think Samet's ever been called Foxy before. I'll have to tell him later. I think he'll enjoy that. 90 for 2 as Samet comes in around the wicket. That one's been slapped out over the head of Wayne Madsen, out towards the extra cover boundary for 4. again, it was really wide, wasn't it? He was reaching for it a bit, but it's perfect to hit.
He gave himself a bit of room there, and I think Samit tried to outsmart him there and pushed it a bit wider, but luckily with the reach that he's got, he just hit the middle of the bat and just hit it straight over extra cover's head.
Luxton moves on to 14 now as Samit is on his way in again. This one's been launched down the ground. Is it a catch for Harry Kame? It is a catch for Harry Kame. Very close to the boundary, right down at long on. Samit picks up a wicket. And it was probably needed. Will Luxton goes. Yorkshire 94 for 2. Luxton makes 14. There for 3, I beg your pardon. Tricky catches those, aren't they? When you're that close to the boundary's edge.
Always, but it is worse when you're playing away from home as well. Hopefully the Derbyshire supporters down there that were cheering him on. But another good wicket there, just to slow down that momentum from the previous over of Anderson.
Absolutely, it's Matthew Revis, who is the new batter. He's got Matty on my team sheet. I don't think I've ever seen him or heard him called Matty. Perhaps it's a new thing.
It's a generational thing, is that, Fletch?
I know a few Matties, but not many.
Footballer for Aston Villa?
Cash. I like a quiz.
What does the S stand for in DLS?
Stern. No, you're not going to get that one past me. Come on. It's my job. Luxton 14 off 16 balls. 1-4. Do better than that. Oh. As Samit bowls to Revis. As it starts to heat up here at Chesterfield. It was a dot ball because he played it straight back to him. Revis on strike again. And this time he goes back, gets trapped leg before wicket. Shoo! Not out, says the umpire. I tell you what, that must have been close. He went back. And if you go back, you're in big, big danger. I think it was only me and Samit who thought it was out, though. He's in again now on bowls, and that one is slapped by Revis straight back to Samit. Another really good over from the Derbyshire skipper, who picks up a wicket. 94 for 3 at the end of that one. 6 runs off it. I don't want to embarrass you. Did you see the shout for leg before wicket, or was your jumper over your head?
Jumper was over my head.
Okay, well, we won't talk about that then. First rule of summarising: never take your jumper off in the middle of an over.
Always keep your eye on the ball.
Keep your eye on the ball. No, I can't. I've never been accused of keeping my eye on the ball. No, but 94 for 3, and Gazanfar is back, so he will bowl out, won't he? Will he?
Yeah.
I thought he would. He bowls, and that one is pushed by Walton up towards Alex Thompson, who is now fielding that long on.
They look very similar, these two batters, don't they? Both got the same bat.
That's very kind of you to say so. Yes, they all look the same, these batters.
Helping you out there.
From this, well, I know, but from this distance, and with players who we don't see, because of course Yorkshire in the first division, we don't see them regularly. I was all right with the Lancashire players. I'd seen them, a lot of them, very recently. Oh, now then, where's the ball gone? It's gone into the hands of an Aaron Donald, and how it got there, well, it sort of rolled up the leg of Matthew Revis. Didn't get any bat on it, though, unfortunately, for Derbyshire, but that was a delivery I don't think he knew an awful lot about. And as we've said, Gazanfar either gets 1 wicket or no wickets or 2 wickets. That's what he's done so far this season, and this one is driven out towards the cover boundary where Pat Brown does the fielding. Terrific arm. Pat Brown, low throw, 1 bounce into the hands of an Aaron Donald. Revis off the mark. 96 for 3. It brings Walton back onto strike. He's got 16 so far, James Walton. Gazanfar is into bowl too, but he pushes it straight back to the Afghanistan bowler.
If they can control this period, then it will really put them in good step later on, 5 or 6 overs time.
Yes, we're in the 12th over. Yorkshire 96 for 3. Derbyshire winning the toss earlier, remember, if you weren't with us, and decided to have a bowl first. And this one has been pulled into the leg side. Harry Kane, well, he thought about going for the catch, and I think he's made the right decision in the end. If he goes for that catch and it goes underneath him, it goes for 4, which just gets Yorkshire going again. He took it on the bounce. He's been everywhere today, Harry Kane. He's already got the one catch to get rid of Will Luxton, but that was felt like the right decision from me from here. As Gazanfar goes in and bowls to Revis, who drives out into the offside towards Pat Brown. And that will be the end of Mohammed Gazanfar. 4 runs off the over, 98 for 3 after 12 overs. He's got one more. He's still got one more.
Bowled really well, so I think that, you know, talking about Harry Kane in that last over, them sort of flat balls that get hit at you where you're like 50-50, he did make the right decision, and they're always tough, and then everyone oohs and ahs, and then you think, could he have got there? But as you said, he made the right decision.
Split second as well, isn't it?
And he's a very good quick fielder as well.
Here's Samit Patel in and bowls to Revis, who pushes this one straight into the offside, and Wayne Manson threatens to throw down the stumps and decides against it. Not that high, but there we go. Just in front of you now. Oh no, in front of your mouse. As Revis goes back, and there's no run again this time. That'll do. As Caleb Jewell does the fielding. Dot to begin the over.
I'm not a natural like you, Fletch.
Well, no, it's years of experience, Greg. Years of experience. As Samit is in again around the wicket. This time he's launched it out into the offside. That might go on for 4. Ross Whiteley's running around the boundary and keeps it in. Excellent work from Ross Whiteley. They've come back for a second. Will they come for a third? Caleb Jewell throws the ball in. Might have thrown it to the bowler's end. It would have been a lot further to throw it, of course. And they eventually get 3. So Ross Whiteley saves 1 there with some classic Ross Whiteley fielding.
Just delayed that throwing, didn't he, Caleb? I think he could have released it a little bit quicker. Or am I being ultra critical?
The 100 is up. There's a stumping appeal. No, says umpire O'Shaughnessy. And Aaron Donald was convinced that he'd got it. Wicketkeepers off an hour, aren't they?
They get excited when they take it down the leg side, don't they?
Yeah, it wasn't signalled wide either, was it? So, no additional run. 101 for 3. We're in the 13th over. 3 runs off this one so far, all from the same shot, as Wharton waits and launches that one down the ground. That's gone all the way. How far's that one gone? It's gone into the trees as well. It's that one 2 over the fence. That's unusual.
It's a big hit, that is. Thing is now, the way these guys are built and the size of the bats, that's just a chip.
We'll get down there after the game now. We might find ourselves some cricket balls, because that's 2 that are in the park. Man bringing the balls out, Brooke Guest. As we change the ball, I'll get a new ball for the umpteenth time in this innings, it seems. It's only the 3rd. And now Samit is in again. Bowls to Wharton, who carves this out into the offside. Whiteley's waiting for it. And the over comes to an end at 108. So 10 off it in the end, including that big blow. 108 for 3. Yorkshire. Derbyshire just need a couple of quiet overs here, and Yorkshire will have to start taking some risks.
It's neither here nor there at the moment, the match, but I think Derbyshire will be the happier out of the 2 teams at the moment. So these next 2 overs are paramount within the game, I think.
There's Pat Brown back into the attack. His first over went for 15. Not all of them were attributed to him. There were some 4-leg byes in there as well, but he did go for 1 enormous 6. As he has, look how far he's as close to us as anybody, Pat Brown, at the start of his run. A bit more than 30 yards. And he races in now to bowl to Wharton, who goes for the little scoop around the corner. It's going to be fielded down. That's Harry Kane again. Of course it is. He's fielding everything. And they just get the 1 run. 109 for 3. All that blue sky. Looks like the bad stuff's gone, which is excellent news for everybody inside Queen's Park at Chesterfield. 20 past 3 on a Sunday afternoon. Where else would you rather be? I'd like to have been in Argentina last night, actually, but here comes Pat Brown. to bowl to Revis, who lifts this effortlessly out towards the extra cover boundary for 4. It didn't even sound particularly good, did it?
No, he just stood tall. It looks like he's quite a tall guy, 6'3", 6'4". Just literally stood up tall, and the pace of Pat.
That was remarkable. Barely touched it, and the way it flew. The outfield is very, very quick. As we said, we saw that over 3.5 days of the championship match against Lancashire. As Brown is on his way in again, Revis gets a full delivery, plays it into the ground, crowd catch. I did get fooled by one the other day.
Did you?
Was I with you?
No.
You'd have absolutely destroyed me. I was the only one in the ground who thought it was out.
Really? That was for Derbyshire, or was that against Derbyshire?
Actually, no. It was in the 4-day game. So you wouldn't have been with me, but it was in the 4-day game. I thought Derbyshire got a wicket.
What was it like seeing Jimmy Anderson in the flesh?
Yeah, no, good to see the Knight of the Realm play, although he was slightly overshadowed by George Balderson. As Brown comes in again, that's slapped into the offside for 4 more, is it? No, there is a fielder out there. It's Martin Anderson who does the filling. They go through for 2. Revis will move on to 11, 115 for 3. He's just a good operator, isn't he? And as fit as a flea. It's just like Wayne Madsen. When you look at Wayne, there isn't an ounce on him, is there? And Anderson is such a good operator. Took the final catch to finally win Lancashire their first game of the season in the county championship, which is sort of fitting. He did juggle it, but he took the catch, and they were always going to win anyway. By the time that catch arrived, that is, as Brown is into Revis, who, well, he gets a little bit fortunate with one that comes off a bit of an edge, and then he slips, which puts any thoughts of a second run out of his head. It's Caleb Jewell who finds himself down on the deep backward point boundary, which is a relatively unusual place for Caleb Jewell to be.
They've got quite a peculiar field here, as you said, the deep point, but they've also got deep extra cover as well. Where the ball previously went at the, I think it was the first or the second ball of this over. And now he's coming round the wicket. I think he's trying to set a trend here, this round the wicket bowling.
Pat Brown thought about, there's Puffin Billy. Brown sets off well before he gets there, and he bowls a full delivery that's beaten away down towards the long lane. That's actually a very good piece of fielding by Zach Chappell, because the ball was coming at him at a rate of knots. 116, 117 for 3, 9 runs off that over. That's perfectly acceptable at this stage of a T20, isn't it? 9 runs off an over.
And I think now Yorkshire have got to go for it. They're only 3 down at the moment. They've got some big hitters in the dugout. Sutherland, Thompson, and a few others. They need to crack on now to try and put a competitive total on the board.
Given last season in the Red Ball game here against Yorkshire, it was Don Bess who was one of the batting heroes. Jordan Thompson is prowling in front of the side screen away to our left-hand side. Mohamed Ghazanfar from the Lake End at 117 for 3. Yorkshire is going to come around the wicket to Wharton, who goes for a huge swing at that one, and it goes into the hands of an Aaron Donald. We'll give you the scores momentarily, but it's a bit tricky during a Ghazanfar over. Free the train today. You fancy a go? There's a good story behind that. As Ghazanfar bowls, this one's been launched down the ground. That's going to go all the way for 6, and this time it hits the sight screen, so not as big as some we've seen down the ground, but 6 runs nonetheless. Wharton moves on to 32 and Yorkshire on to 123 for 3. It's free when there's cricket on. It's £2.40 normally, but if you don't pay, the council has no responsibility if you get hit by a cricket ball. Here is Ghazanfar bowling, and that one is off a thick outside edge. Nice piece of fielding by Caleb Jewell, keeps them down to a single. Wharton moves to 32, 124 for 3 now.
This is the over there where they want to really attack.
Formula One Grand Prix today, of course, here in Chesterfield. If you're tired of sport, you can always flick across to that. Gazanfar to Revis, who's on 12. Just clips that one into the leg side. Pat Brown galloping in off the boundary, keeps them down to a single. We're in the 15th over of Yorkshire's innings. 125 for 3. There's no need for that, really, is there? Unless your exhaust has dropped off. Gazanfar bowls. This one's been lifted down the ground. It's going to be another catch for Harry Kane. Takes the catch down at long on. For a moment he was obscured from my view, but Wharton goes now for 32, and Yorkshire in the 15th over are 125 for 4. I thought for a moment you've misjudged it, Harry Kane.
Yeah, I think that them sort of catches when they toe end it are a little bit tougher, and especially with this wind as well, you don't realise how much of it affects the wind takes of the onto the ball as well. So it was a well-judged catch as well. I think a lot of people would like the ball to be smacked at them, so there's less time to think about it. But a good catch right in front of the crowd down there as well, and Will Sutherland enters.
Yes, the scoreboard did me there. Wharton made 33, not 32, as I may have suggested, including 1 4 and 3 sixes. That is entirely the wrong way around. Gazanfar now has 2 for 21 with 1 ball left of his 4 overs. He either gets none or he gets 2, and he's done it again. Unfortunately for Derbyshire, today is one of his 2 days. And he's on his way in now to bowl to Sutherland, who defends that one. And the over comes to an end at 125 for 4. So he was hit for 6 and conceded 8 runs off the over. That's a decent effort, and picked up a wicket.
Very good spell. Obviously has to bowl in the power play as well, which is always difficult, especially with such a small ground square here. So he's done a fantastic job. And now for the wily fox of Samit Patel.
I prefer Foxy. I do prefer Foxy. I have to say, I think Samit might as well, if we asked him. Still got Alex Thompson, who has bowled 2 overs. This is Samit Patel's final over. He bowls to Revis, who hits it up to Thompson. And they go, a little juggle. Well, no damage done. They go through for a single. No time to read the scores during a Samit Patel over either. May never get another chance to read the scores out. Most of the other games started at 3 o'clock rather than 2, but they are at headquarters grounds where they have floodlights. Of course, no floodlights available here. Thank you to Terry Sunderland, who says even the Shea is a hybrid pitch. Yeah. Pirelli isn't. Here comes Patel and bowls to Sutherland, who just pushes the ball to a very straight long on for a single. 127 for 4. We've got a couple of questions to ask you. Somebody called Mike Atherton has sent me a message. I'm not sure if it's the Mike Atherton as the ball goes to short fine leg. This is Mike Atherton from Upwell in Norfolk. He said he once saw Freddie Truman hit a 6 over the trees. He said, although I don't suppose they were as tall as they are now. Well, they have grown, I'm sure. Mike, thank you very much. That's a good point. Thank you for the email. As Samit bowls, that one's pushed out into the offside, and Madsen fields. 128 for 4. Sutherland has 1. Revis has 15.
I think Derbyshire will be happy at this point.
I think so. 128 for 4 in the 16th over. This one, it's coming our way, boys. Stand by. This could go anywhere. Cover your heads. Oh, hits the roof of the gazebo. David Griffin had his hand on his head, and I'm not surprised. 6 scored by Will Sutherland. Clean hit.
Very clean hit, long levers, very destructive batter. Does it out in Australia, and that's why Yorkshire obviously signed him as well.
That could have gone anywhere. We had absolutely no idea where that was going. As Samet is in again, and that one's wide of the off stump. It's signalled wide, and they're going to sneak through for an extra run as well. So 136 for 4. It gets Sutherland off strike, I suppose. He's got 7. Revis has got 15 off 16 balls. He's hit 1-4. Sutherland's hit 1-6. And that one is played straight back by Revis to Samet Patel, and the over comes to an end at 136 for 4. 11 off the over. That last song was Voodoo by Gorgon City. We all knew that, didn't we?
Never heard of it before.
Neither have I.
Beyond our times, that.
Certainly after my time. Yeah. Dom's down with the kids. Pat Brown is back. There we go. To bowl over number 17. So 4 overs to go. 136 for 4. Yorkshire will have a number in their heads. What do you think that number will be?
I would say if they could get up to around about 170.
170. Small ground, decent pitch. It's not done a huge amount, has it? Hybrid, of course, they don't. Apparently, as in comes Pat Brown and bowls, and Sutherland just guides that into the leg side. He thinks about 2, but Gazanfar does the fielding. Got to be careful with those throws, Mohammed. He is. Throws it to Samet Patel at the far end of the ground.
All batters as well like a bit more pace on the ball, especially this late on when the ball's soft and not doing that much either. They can really line up the bowler, and especially with this wind as well going from left to right as we're looking at it.
Just got to be careful hitting it to, I mean, the boundaries are small by professional cricketers' standards, so hitting it into the wind towards the bank isn't too much of an issue, but if it goes up in the air, it is. Fielder's on the edge of the circle on the offside mainly as Brown bowls, and he gets the toe end of that as he tries to hit it into next week, Matthew Revis, and it goes up to Samet Patel at mid-off on the edge of the circle. He moves to 16, 138 for 4. It's that strange light now where it's reasonably bright, but there's such dark skies away to the east. I like this kind of light. It's not a particularly easy seeing ground, is it, with all the trees around? As Brown is in and bowls, and that one is toe-ended by Sutherland up to Samet again. Again, he was trying to heave that into the leg side. He moves on to 9, 139 for 4, not timing it.
No, he's bowled well there, Pat. Them last 3 balls, only gone for 3 off the over so far, so a big couple of balls left.
We don't have the benefit of the timer, the clock, how long Derbyshire have got to bowl the overs. We're only at 3:32, so they've only taken an hour so far as Brown is in, bangs that one in, and it's hit away by Revis for 6 into the crowd on the bank. That is the danger of the short ball, isn't it, at this stage of the innings? As you say, with the ball going soft, it just sort of bounces up nicely.
Yeah, and probably a little bit predictable. Them last 4 balls were in the same sort of area, maybe taking the pace off a couple of them, but these guys are waiting for anything on the shorter side just so they can hit through the line of the ball with the size of the bats and the long levers.
8 4s and 8 6s now in this innings. That was the 8th one that went clean across the rope. Pat Brown with Zach Chappell bouncing up and down on the spot in front of us. He's in to bowl. It's a full toss and it's beaten away. Gazanfar's not going to get that. That's the 9th 4 of the innings. And Revis moves to 26. It's 149 for 4 now as we approach the end of the 17th over. So 3 overs to go after this one. They're already on 150.
This is the danger of the pace on the ball now.
Yes, it's going to fly, isn't it? It's going to fly. We are going to see Zach Chappell. We have still got some overs available for Alex Thompson. We're quite late in the innings to bring a spinner back. As Brown bowls a full delivery, and that one's launched down the ground. It's going to be a third catch for Harry Kame. It is a third catch for Harry Kame. It does really well not to step over the boundary, throws it back in. He goes over the boundary rope and then collects it on his way back. 3 catches for Harry Kame, and Revis goes for 26. It's 149 for 5 Yorkshire now.
Sounded like he absolutely middled that from the microphone there, but a brilliant catch from Harry Kame. Had to do a lot of leg work, and momentum took him over the rope, but luckily he managed to flick it back and jump back over the rope. But I think that rule's changing. Is it soon? Is it next year that it comes in, or is it at international level?
No. If you leap from inside the field, throw the ball up and then go over the boundary and come back, you find it's that one where you were over the boundary and you just kept leaping in the air and tapping the ball up, which some people did. You can't do that anymore, I don't think. I may be wrong, but I'm fairly sure that's the case.
We'll go along with that.
Well,
I believe you.
I know.
And hopefully the viewers do so.
That's the problem, isn't it? Revis, 26 off 21, so a nice little innings from him with 2 4s and a 6. 149 for 5. Now, Yorkshire. Pat Brown picks up his first wicket. And at the end of that over, he had conceded 13 runs, but he picked up the wicket of a set batter, which is always useful. It's the man who makes things happen. Jordan Thompson, who has gone out to join Will Sutherland. Sutherland will be on strike, and it's Zach Chappell to bowl over number 18. Oh, you've got the change of the rules. Well, you can explain it to us, Tom. In between this delivery and the next, as that one is thrashed down the ground. We're in danger here. Oh, there you go. It's the advertising boards and bounces into the press area. That was well struck by Will Sutherland. It's 150 up for Yorkshire, 153 for 5.
You don't realise how hard they actually hit the ball nowadays.
Have you got it? Come on, Tom.
Shall I join in?
Yeah.
New rule change in cricket will deem bunny hop catches,
yes,
which is what you were referring to,
very much what I was saying.
Near the boundary is illegal, requiring a fielder to land inside the field of play after their first touch of the ball outside the boundary. This means a fielder can no longer throw the ball to themselves multiple times in the air outside the boundary to complete a catch.
Chappell bowls, and that one is driven down the ground. Straight drive as well, really straight. That's 4 more. That's back-to-back boundaries.
And they just changed the field, that ball before. Alex Thompson got moved from long on to square leg, and Harry Kame came up. Maybe because he took 3 brilliant catches and he wants a 4th.
I don't know what the record is. I'm sure there's a man who does. Just to our right, 3 won't be the record.
No.
Record number of catches for Derbyshire in a T20 match by an outfielder. Obviously, wicketkeepers have a lot more chance, but I would think 4 or 5 could threaten that record, because quite often teams don't lose 5 or 6 wickets, do they? It's 157 for 5 now. 17 to Sutherland, who gets a full toss and tries to hit it away into the leg side. Actually thudded into his pad. Therefore,
well, Derbyshire hold a Is it Harvey Hussein holds the record for most amount of catches?
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't tell you what it was, but you're right. Afternoon to you, Harvey, if you're watching. I haven't seen Harvey for a while. Sadly had to retire due to concussion issues a couple of years ago. Kept heading the ball when he was batting. 158 for 5. And goes Chappell again, and that one skewed off the outside edge of Jordan Thompson's bat and raced away down to a wide third man. There isn't a third man in place at this stage. The fielder's outside the circle. Harry Kame is in front of us. Ross Whiteley, who's out on the mid-wicket boundary. Samit Patel, who's at long off, which is crazy. It's a man on the backward point boundary as well, I can see. As Chappell goes in, Thompson, well, that one's down the leg side and will be signalled wide. At the moment, Will Sutherland, who is very, very tall, is obscuring Jordan Thompson from us when Zach Chappell bowls, which is not ideal, but 163 for 5. We're in the 17th of the 20 overs. is a good opportunity to give you some scores. It's still raining in, or it was still raining in Durham, but they're due to start round about now, as this one has been launched in the air. Now there's half an opportunity. He was late setting off Alex Thompson. The ball bounces and skids on, and it's well fielded in the end by Ross Whiteley out at backward square leg. That's where he's at.
We all have a moment, Fletch, don't worry.
They're becoming more and more, these moments. I forgot the name of the goal scorer last season.
And this is where
Zach scored.
This is where Zach needs to execute his ball, the balls now, with all the experience that he's got throughout the competition.
Thompson waits, and he's launched this one down the ground. It's gone straight up in the air. Samit Patel's underneath it. Samit, will he take the catch? No. He tried to push it back, and it's actually hit the advertising boards. I'm not sure why Samit's fielding there, but it's gone for 6. The reason I hesitated about where that ball had gone was I couldn't remember in my own mind whether Jordan Thompson was left or right-handed, because he bowls right-handed, doesn't he? But he's a left-handed bat, and he was actually at backward point, Thompson, when he fielded it. 171 for 5 now with 2 overs to go, so they've almost reached what you said that they might get to, which is a slight concern.
I think they may score a bit more than 175 now.
I think they might.
With the momentum that they've got.
Yes. Don was trying to show me something, but I'm not sure what it was. Sonny Cartel. Oh, she's gone out in straight sets. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova has beaten her at Wimbledon, which is a real shame. But it's been a terrific run at the All England Club for Sonny Cartel, who has a very bright future ahead of her. No question. Cam Norrie, the last remaining Englishman.
And these are the moments why Derbyshire signed Pat Brown as well. Back end of a T20 innings. All the variations in the world he's got. He just needs to execute them now.
It's an expensive over, that last one, wasn't it? 22. Brown in, and that one has been launched out into the offside. A chance for Ross Whiteley, who takes a stunning catch close to the boundary. That is an absolutely brilliant catch. He's claiming it. The batter doesn't look like he wants to go, but he's got to go, as Will Sutherland. That was fantastic. He goes for 17. It's 171 for 6 now.
And that's why Derbyshire put him in them key areas, just to take brilliant catches like that. I think he didn't judge it too well, but luckily his athleticism took him out of, gave him the best possible chance of catching that.
Just having another look at the catch. He's very close to the boundary rope, and he actually millimetres away from the boundary as he took that one. That is fantastic. Great awareness of where that rope is from Ross Whiteley, who, for a moment, I must admit, I thought it was going to go over his head. Will Sutherland walks back, having scored 17 off 10. Terrific effort from him. And it's 171 for 6, as I say, with Pat Brown bowling the penultimate over of the innings. Oh, he is listening. Thank you, Harvey. 170. He doesn't have my number, obviously. I'll email you, Harv. 171 for 6. It was more to do with the record number of catches than the retiring from cricket.
Rather than the actual person.
And rather than retiring, rather than me saying he'd have to retire early, which was really unfortunate.
He'll be happy with me saying that. I went to school with him, so I can give him a bit of stick.
Are you the same age?
I'm a year above him.
Brown into the new batter, who swings and misses at that one. It's Dom Bess, who's come in possibly ahead of Jaffa Chauhan. Dot ball though. That's not bad. That's not a bad reaction from the crowd for the bugle. It's certainly better than in recent times. The Derbyshire fans are obviously in boisterous mood already. Pat Brown's going to come around the wicket now to Dom Bess.
Crowd's not as loud yet, is it?
No, not yet. It's early. It's only 7 pints past 3. Here comes Pat Brown around the wicket to bowl to the new batter, who is Dom Bess, and that one's gone down the leg side and will be signalled wide. 173. No. 2.
I don't understand the reason why he comes round the wicket. I've seen him do it a few times. I saw Jake Ball do it for Nottinghamshire quite a while ago, but he just bowled a dot ball over the wicket to Dom Bess. Why would you change a winning formula? But he has a bit more experience than myself.
I think, yes, I was just going to say he probably knows best, or certainly thinks he knows best. That one has been launched out into the offside. Other chances if for Whiteley, no. He has to make that decision not to go for the full-length dive. And again, I don't think he'd have made it out there, Ross Whiteley. So to pick up a single, Dom Bess is off strike. 173 for 6. So Gazanfar and Patel, Samit Patel are bowled out. Martin Anderson has 2 left. Zach Chappell has 1, so he'll almost certainly bowl the final over, or would have done prior to that quite expensive over number 18. So he's got some thinking to do here. Samit Patel. Martin Anderson 2 overs. I can't imagine that he's bowled many last overs in a T20. He may have done. Certainly not for Derbyshire. Jordan Thompson's on strike then at 173 for 6. He's got 12 so far off 3 deliveries. He's hit 1-4-1-6. And Pat Brown is on his way in to him, and he bowls, and that's a really good delivery outside the off stump, and he took a step into the offside as well. He actually scraped his bat all the way along the floor trying to get to it.
Really well executed wide Yorker there. He's just doing the simple things well. I think the only thing is, if Patel does bowl Thompson at the end, he's going to be bowling from the pavilion end with the wind going from left to right, so just a very easy flick.
But to a left-hander, if you get Thompson on strike, I don't know. Next delivery from Brown is a full toss, and it's beaten away into the offside. Anderson will field it out in the deep, and that's a good outcome really in the end. That's Derbyshire. Yorkshire move on to 173 for 6. Pat Brown was on a hat-trick. I missed that. He didn't get it though, did he? No. Excellent. Thank you to Henry for that useless piece of information. 173 for 6. I'm sure he'll be back when he's more useful. There's Brown racing up the hill, bowls to Bess, who goes for the little scoop round the corner. He's dropped by Zach Chappell. It was a really tricky chance. He got a big piece of it. He stopped the boundary. Would have liked the wicket clearly. Pat Brown kicks the ground. They are best mates as well, Chappell and Brown. Brown looks furious, but he'll calm down. 176 for 6 at the end of the over. Just 5 runs off that one. Really good penultimate over.
My prediction's out the window now of 175, but
I shouldn't worry too much about it.
Great penultimate over by Brown, and hopefully Chappell can follow the same suit, and that will take and give the momentum to Derbyshire going into their innings.
Yes, this is a big over. This last one went for plenty. He's got 1 for 40 off 3 overs, so has been particularly expensive. Pat Brown finishes with 2 for 35 from his 4. Samit 1 for 31. Mohamed Gazanfar 2 for 21. Zach Chappell 1 for 40 is a little expensive for a fielders swapping places here, because we're going to see Martin Anderson fielding at long on. Harry came at long off, so Samit has gone. Where's he gone now? He's gone into extra cover on the edge of the circle, and Chappell comes into bowl to Thompson, who launches him down the ground for 6. That's another big one straight. And Jordan Thompson moves on to 19 now, and it's 182 for 6. That was the 6th ball that he's faced for his 19.
That was just in the slot, unfortunately. Zach just didn't execute his plan there. And as you rightly said, this is a massive over. I know it's the last over of Yorkshire's innings, but this is just a massive over in the context of Derbyshire's season as well.
On their qualification, Pat Brown has come across to have a chat with Zach Chappell. I think all that's left really is an 8th successive win over Yorkshire this season, but I do like your optimism, misplaced as it is. In goes Chappell, and bowls to Thompson, who digs that one out. There's a chance. Oh, it's gone for 4. I thought for a moment there was a chance for Alex Thompson to get round the boundary and keep the ball in, but no, that's gone for 4. So 10 off the first 2 balls of the final over. 23 now to Thompson. 186 for 6. Derbyshire could well be chasing 200, and we all know that Derbyshire don't chase 200 particularly well. They don't get 200 very often, but they don't chase it. And the record here at Chesterfield is under threat. Thompson waits, flexes his knees. Chappell goes in and he swings at that one and misses it. And he admonishes himself. It's now 10 off 3.
Thompson not happy with himself. Thought it was in the slot there.
If he gets an edge, it flies over short third man as well, doesn't it? It looks like Caleb Jewell.
The amount of times that these two have probably played against each other, Zach should probably know where his strengths are.
Chappell's in again. Thompson moves into the offside to give himself the chance to play it into the leg side. They think about coming back for the second. Thompson has. Oh, they've got back for 2. A throw to the bowler's end. And Bess is out. They only get 1 run, but he picks up 2 more. It's 188 for 6 now, or is that not changed? It is 188 for 6. 25 now to Thompson off 9 deliveries. What an innings this has been from Jordan Thompson. Yorkshire are going to miss him next season when he's playing for Bears. As in goes Chappell again. That one's dropped short. That one's been hit high and long and over the head of Pat Brown on the boundary. He did everything he could to force it back in, but it's another 6 to Jordan Thompson. He moves to 31 now. It's 194 for 6, and Derbyshire are going to be chasing 200 as one of the red arrows flies past. Blimey, that was slightly unexpected. Very good. Just to celebrate the 200 for Yorkshire. A little bit early, but 194 for 6. It'll come after the next delivery, possibly. There's Chappell. He's on his way in again and bowls, and that one's coming our way, chaps. Stand by. Hurricane watches as it lands way behind the gazebo. It goes for 6, and it is 200 for Yorkshire, 200 for 6, with 37 for Jordan Thompson. An astonishing innings right at the end there that really has swung the momentum in Yorkshire's favour, you would have to say. Don Best, well, he was 3 not out, and that last over went for 24, which by my calculations means that Zach Chappell's last 2 overs went for 46. The 18th over and the 20th over, and that could be the difference between Derbyshire winning an 8th successive game against Yorkshire here at Chesterfield and not. They have finished on 200 for 6, which means that Derbyshire are going to have to score a double century to maintain that record, Dom, and they don't score 200 often.
199, 197, their 2 highest totals this summer in the Blast. Guess what? When they hit them, both of them resulted in victories. So if they to beat that today, it will end in a victory for them. 201 to win for Derbyshire. But Greg, we've had this conversation this summer about those final few overs bowling and just giving away runs, and those numbers Fletch read out there are absolutely damning.
Really expensive over, and Zach will be really disappointed. I think probably, even though he got hit for a couple of 6s, a couple of 4s, probably the most disappointing was the one where it went out to Cow Corner, where Brown was fielding, and they took a 2-2, and there should never be a 2 there. And you talk about momentum, and I know I said it last time I was on, and Fletch is going to chuckle, but that momentum from the last over going into Yorkshire's bowling innings now is massive. Derbyshire know that they're on the back foot now, and it's going to be a very, very tough chase for them.
Where do they pull that confidence from to be able to go and beat this total?
Your guess is as good as mine. I think, as you said, they have chased some high totals before, and they're at Chesterfield. They've got the record behind them. it's just down to them now. They're experienced players, so if anybody can do it, it's hopefully these guys.
Well, that record goes back 10 years. Would be 8 matches if they were to be successful in that chase today. Greg Cork, thank you very much. We'll give you a breather. Dave Fletcher, thank you. You're listening to BBC Radio Derby. It's just coming up to 5 to 4. Cheers, mate. Okay, mate, I'm just going to rattle through some of the sports heads. Cool, thank you. Thank you.
Well, it is, but
And this is what I love about Chesterfield at the break, at the halfway point. That the supporters actually come onto the field and they get to mill around and hang out, and kids get to get their bat and ball out and start having a hit around the place at the break. It really does have that community feel to it and a real grassroots feel to it as well. Derbyshire, though, big task in hand, 201 to win, but they always beat Yorkshire, don't they? Don't they? Or is that until this summer? Who knows? In tennis, Britain's Sunny Patel lost her 4th round match against the women's singles at Wimbledon to Russia's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova in straight sets, 6-7, 4-6. Meanwhile, in the men's singles, Brit Cameron Norrie is currently playing his last 16 match against Chile's Nicholas Jarry. Currently, it is poised at the moment, as I look at the live scores on court 1. 6-3, Cam Norrie won the first set, and I believe he's lost the second set. Set in the gazebo here at Queen's Park, Derbyshire taking on Yorkshire. They've got a big battle in front of them. They need 201 to win this one this afternoon and continue that 10-year running streak. And Aaron Donald and Caleb Jewell are out, ready with the bat. Yorkshire out as well. So let's hand over to your match commentator Dave Fletcher, who will be shortly alongside former Derbyshire all-rounder Greg Cook.
Yeah, you got waylaid. Thank you, Dom. Just to round off the Yorkshire innings and the stats side of it, Zach Chappell's 1 for 64 in 4 overs, the second worst bowling figures in Derbyshire's T20 history. Matty McKinnon's record of 0 for 82 down at Taunton remains safe. 13 fours and 12 sixes in that innings. Dom Bess is going to open the bowling for Yorkshire, and he's going to be bowling initially to Aaron Donald, who hits that out, and it's a misfield. Excellent news. There's a misfield. They're going to need all the help they get. Will Luxton could no, I don't like that. Don't do that. That is so disrespectful from Derbyshire that that's embarrassing, really. But there we go, because they're going to lose this in all probability, and they're going to look foolish later on as that one's clipped into the leg side by Aaron Donald for 1. He wants to come back for a second, but Caleb Jewell says no. And it's 5 for 1 after 2. Well, the posh seats are quite empty at the moment. They're all in there eating their prawn sandwiches or katsu chicken, whatever it might be. Well, I don't even know what that is. In comes Bess around the wicket, bowls to Caleb Jewell. He's going to pick up a run here. It's come off his pads, though, into the leg side for a leg by. 6 without loss. Their first target is to batter Yorkshire's power play, which was 51 for 1. Doesn't look like an athlete when he's running, does he, Greg? That one has been launched down the ground by Aaron Donald for 4, out towards the long off boundary. That's a clean hit from Nye. He moves on to 9 early in the innings, and Derbyshire up to 10 without loss in the first over. Derbyshire nice and economical first up. Dom Bess has got to respond to that. He comes in over the wicket, and that one is slapped straight back past him. He actually got a hand to it, I think, but it's got enough power on it to go for 4 more, and it's 14 without loss with still 1 ball to go.
You don't want to miss this first over, do you?
No, well, I didn't. I saw you got waylaid, and I thought he'll be back at some point. I'm fully confident in Greg returning at some point. As in comes Bess, and that one is a full toss, and it's launched out onto the hill for 6. Excellent start from Nye Donald. Well, he moves on to 19, and at the end of the first over, Derbyshire are 20 without loss, miles in front of the required rate.
Hopefully they'll win this power play.
Hopefully they'll win it by the 10th over, going at this rate.
It's not bad going, is it, this, so far?
How's it?
You just need to keep on going, I think.
Well, Donald has faced 5 deliveries for his 19. This is almost Jordan Thompson-esque. Jordan Thompson didn't face too many balls. 11, in fact, for his 37, which is going some, isn't it?
Struck it well.
Yeah. Johnny Bairstow's got the physio out with him at the moment. Finger issue, possibly. Anyways, he's being sorted out. Can't work out from this distance which hand it is, because the physio is standing in the way.
The amount of tape now that the keepers have on their fingers as well, and they wear little rubber protectors as well on each of their fingers now, so probably just needs it, I was going to say rewiring, repatching.
Rewiring. There's a pair of Bob Taylor's gloves at Derbyshire, which we showed, well, David Griffin mainly, but I was with him, showed to a Brooke guest. And his first question was, where's the webbing? And his second question was, how on earth does that protect anybody? Because Bob Taylor, the greatest wicketkeeper the game has ever seen, I think by common consent, basically wore just a pair of flimsy gloves with some bits to protect the end of his fingers. Nowadays, it's like the 1970s when we first saw the German goalkeepers wearing gloves, and we all thought, what on earth is that all about? They were like a bit like watching Kenny Everett with his brotherly love. That references way beyond both of my co-commentators today. 20 without loss then, Derbyshire, and Caleb Jewell, who has yet to get off the mark because it was a leg bye, is facing Matt Milnes, who's on his way into bowl now, and he clips that nicely into the leg side. They're only going to get one. There's a fielder out there in the deep. It's Jordan Thompson, and it's 21 without loss after the first over. It brings an Aaron Donald back onto strike. Now the leg side is with the wind here, so if he bangs it in short, there is a man out on the deep square leg boundary, just slightly backward of square it looks like from here. The other man has disappeared from view. It's Jordan Thompson still out on the backward point boundary. It's fairly regulation in actual fact, as Milnes is on his way in and bowls to Donald, and that's on his pads, and it's beaten the fielder at short fine leg and goes for 4. There's a full toss from Milnes. He's missed his Yorker and it was pounced on.
Dangerous batter at the top of the order, Donald is. You need to really execute your skills when somebody's going like this as well, and I don't know whether that was a misfield or whether he just rolled over it or it was out of his reach, but just them little 1% in the field can make a big difference.
I think we'll call it a misfield. 23 now to Donald, 25 without loss, and this one is launched out to the offside. Has that got enough legs to go all the way for 6? Of course it has. 6 for Donald, who moves to 29, 31 without loss in the second over here. Derbyshire told you they'd be all right.
And this is where the crowd come into play, very much so. A few more pints down them now, and now that Donald's smashing it, you can really hear the crowd on their feet.
29 off 7, and Aaron Donald with 4 4s and 2 6s. He waits now. He's seeing this cleanly. That's coming our way. My word, that's a big one. And it bangs into the sight screen to our left. Almost takes out half the Yorkshire backroom staff. 35 to an Aaron Donald off 8 deliveries. I don't know what the world record is. It's about 13. 13? 18. Derbyshire's record's 18, but the world record's about 13. 37 without loss, and Donald in this kind of mood is almost impossible to field. He waits now as Milnes bowls to him. He's launched this out. He's in trouble, as he knows. It's gone to the right of Dom Bess, and Bess won't get there. It's 4 more. He moves to 39 off 9.
Bess nearly collided with one of the spectators as well. That's the only issue with having the crowd so close, but we just can't bowl to him at the moment, and Jewell's only on 1.
He's having a watch. He's only faced 2 deliveries, Caleb Jewell. Mind you, having said that, and Aaron Donald's only faced 9. He's 39 not out. 9 deliveries. It's mad.
Will Sutherland now just having a chat, and I think that's more of a tactical...
Slow down. Gamesmanship, would you say? You wouldn't do that, would you?
Hand over his mouth.
Milnes on his way in to bowl to Donald, who's launched this out into the offside. That's 6 more. No, bounces just inside the rope. Just inside the rope. He moves to 43 off 10. The world record is 13. Who was that? Marcus Trescothick, of course it was. What a player he was. It's the end of the over, incidentally, so we can all calm down for a minute or two. 45 without loss after 2 overs, Derbyshire. 20 off the first over, 25 off the second. So those 2 overs bowled by Zach Chappell have just been wiped out in the first 2 overs of the Derbyshire innings. And Jimmy's getting excited as well next to us. That's unusual. In T20 county cricket, yeah, absolutely. Marcus Trescothick, 13. He's now, I've lost count of how many he's faced now. He's faced 10 of the 12 deliveries. So he has a chance. He's on 43, but it's Caleb Jewell on strike. Explosive batter himself at times. And the first delivery of the next over is pushed out into the offside. Donald, don't want to run yourself out, for goodness sake. The new batter, incidentally, is Will O'Rourke.
That would just sum up Derbyshire's season so far if Donald just ran himself out then.
Don't even think it. I know, I thought it. He set off. He probably ran a third of a run, it looked like, from here. Will O'Rourke has got a big job on his hands here just to bowl a tight over. 45 without loss off 10 balls so far in Aaron Donald, but it's Caleb Jewell on strike. O'Rourke around the wicket to the left-hander who makes room for himself. Oh, that's massive. It's gone over the marquee into the road, and it's now in Chesterfield town centre. That is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous from Caleb Jewell, and the Derbyshire 50 comes up in the third over. They're 51 without loss.
You can really hear the supporters now, and with the pace of the bowler, all he had to do is just flick it off his legs, but that has gone a long way, and also as well it's downwind. It's
very good hand-eye cut, and this is about the 17th ball we've had to get today so far. There have been that many sixes. There were 12 in the Yorkshire innings, and we've already seen 4 in the Derbyshire innings, so that's 16 in total. It was the way he stepped into the offside. O'Rourke still bowled the same delivery, and he just flicked it away. It was enormous.
That's the danger with the pace of the bowler.
51 without loss in the third over. O'Rourke on his way, and he's moving around again. Is Caleb Jewell. He pushes it out into the offside. They're going to go through for a single. Nice and tame. Quickly taken. 52 without loss. 8 now to Caleb Jewell. The ball from the 6 has been found, and it's been put down on the boundary's edge. You need to go and get that and put it on eBay, because that ball has been hit as far as any ball has been hit today. It was enormous. Here is Nye Donald then. He's got 43 off 10 deliveries. The record in county cricket is 13. I don't want to put too much pressure on him. He can't hear me, of course. And he'll know that he's on to something big here. He waits now as O'Rourke comes in and bowls. And that one is short. It's been hit for 6. He moves on to 49 off 11. He's on for the record in this country. Wow. 49 off 11 balls. And Aaron Donald. This is ridiculous.
Some of the cleanest hits you've ever seen. Every single shot has hit the middle of his bat. Could be onto something great here.
49 off 11. Tap it into the offside for a single now. 58 without loss. O'Rourke is in. This time he's played. Oh, he has got something on it. No, he hasn't. It's a leg by. Oh dear, it's 49 off 12. That would have been the fastest 50 in history. In blast history, thank you. That would have been the fastest, so he will equal the fastest if he gets a single off his next ball. Derbyshire, in the meantime, have moved on to 59 without loss, and we're only in the third over here. It's complete and utter madness what's happening in front of our eyes here as O'Rourke is on his way in, bowling to Caleb Jewell, and Jewell just fends that off into the leg side for a single. And that was the final ball of the over, was it? Yes, the final ball of the over, probably just as well. Only 15 off that, so a positive success for Yorkshire, who have seen Derbyshire get 60 without loss off the first 3 overs. I said the first thing that Derbyshire need to do is match the power play. They've won the power play, Greg. They've won it already.
And the next 10 overs of Yorkshire. No, it's brilliant, this. Fantastic to watch, and hopefully the supporters are happy.
Well, if they're not happy with this, they never will be. There'll be somebody complaining that they're not playing proper cricket shots, of course, but we'll soon bat them down. Is Matt Milne's going to bowl again? No, he's not going to bowl again. We're going to see Will Sutherland, another tall man, if he digs this one in. Caleb Jewell will take full advantage, I'm sure. The 2 men outside the circle. I can see one at square leg. I can't see the other at the moment. Sutherland is in and bowls to full delivery to Jewell, who gets a thick inside edge, and it goes out towards that man at square leg. He's over there. Look, he was hiding at backward point. Single to Caleb Jewell, who's moved on sedately to 10 off 7. And here we go. And Aaron Donald to equal the T20 blast record for the fastest 50.
We'll be in great company as well.
Marcus Trescothick of 13 deliveries They've even come out of the marquee in the posh seats to have a look at this. Here we go. Sutherland on his way in. Bowls to Donald, who clips it away for 4 runs, and that equals the fastest 50 in history. It has been kept in, actually. He comes back for the second. It is 50 off 13 deliveries. It equals the fastest T20 in blast history. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
4 sixes. Well batted by Donald.
6 4s and 4 6s. It's been an astonishing innings. He has threatened this throughout his time at Derbyshire. He already had the 2 fastest.
Brilliant.
They were 18 balls. This one's come off 13.
I would hate to know what his strike rate is.
I'll tell you in a minute. But not yet, because the computer hasn't updated. Sutherland goes in and bowls to Donald, who hits this into the onside. A run around here for Bess, who picks it up. They only get a single. He moves to 52. I can't tell you now because it's changed again, of course. It's in excess of 400, of course. When he got to his 50 of his 13th delivery, 64 without loss now, Derbyshire. Come on, computer, don't let me down now.
We're in record territory history, aren't we?
Yeah, we certainly are. Sutherland is changing his field. 64 without loss in the 4th over.
Be interested to see what the highest power play total is.
Dom, off you go. Here comes Sutherland and bowls to Jewell, who clips that one into the leg side for a single. When he got to his 50, his strike rate was 392.3. I'll just write that down because it's worth writing down. This has been an astonishing innings so far from Derbyshire. Yorkshire will know, though, they're 1 wicket away from just putting the brakes on. The Sutherland goes in and bowls to Donald, who gets hit on the pads. He's way outside the leg stump, of course, because he took a step into the leg side. Swing and a miss, really, and he hasn't missed many. I'm not sure he hasn't scored off a single ball, if that makes any sense. Dom?
Notts, you won't like that answer.
No.
Hit 106 runs against Durham back in 2017.
Thank you. I'll make a note of that.
Another 40 then.
This will got another 2 overs after this one finishes. In goes Sutherland, bowls to Donald, who drives along the floor. That's a really fine piece of fielding. That extra cover. Is that David Milan? No, it isn't. It's, don't tell me. Oh, was it David Milan? I thought it was. Yeah, David Milan with that fielding there. It looked like him, but then I doubted myself, and I shouldn't have done. End of the over. A good one. Just 5 runs from it. 65 without loss after 4 overs. Derbyshire, they require another 136 runs off 16 overs, which, I hate saying it, it very much puts it into gettable territory, doesn't it?
100%.
Very, very gettable. 65 without loss after 4 overs. Donald, 52 off 16. Jewell, 11 off 8. Rather been starved of the strike, but didn't seem to mind when he congratulated Nye Donald. He's on strike now. I didn't see who the new bowler was, I apologise. Whoever it is, he's in now. Bowls to Caleb Jewell, who's lifted that one out towards the 3rd man boundary for 4. Thompson can't get round. The new bowler is Matt Milnes, incidentally, who did go for 25 in his first over, but he's gone for 4 off the first ball of his second. Derbyshire moved on to 69 without loss, and Yorkshire must absolutely hate Chesterfield. They've scored 200, and at the moment they are so far under the pump you can barely see them. Caleb Jewell waits, he's on 15. Milnes is in again, and this time he just taps it out into the offside. He's so desperate to get back on strike. And Aaron Donald, he set off for a single there, but it went straight to Milan again.
Whenever there's a single or a dot ball, I think the crowd start booing just because of how exciting
Get a bit stunned, don't they?
The power
Get a
play's
bit
been.
stunned.
But the over before was really, really good from Sutherland. Milan had to go for his most experienced, one of his most experienced bowlers.
There is Milnes in again. Caleb Jewell on the move. Just flicks it away, but that's good work from Johnny Bairstow behind the stumps, diving away to his right-hand side. Anticipated that nicely. Another example of world-class cricket. Thank you to Terry Sunderland for the match, his personal friend. first game at Chesterfield he's missed for ages, he said, and that's Yorkshire, have got a chance, have they? Milnes bowls, down the track goes Caleb Jewell. He doesn't hit that particularly cleanly, comes off a bottom edge and he's fielded just in front of us by Will O'Rourke. They go through for a single, move on to 70 without loss. 16 now to Jewell off 11. Brings an Iron Donald on to bat. He's faced 6 more deliveries than Caleb Jewell, of course. He's on 52 not out. I don't think I got 52 in a season when I was playing. He's just done it in less than 3 overs worth of batting, and that's mad. There have been 4 dot balls in the last 5 deliveries, though, so Yorkshire almost got an element of control. Here is Donald then waiting. It looks like the batter off stick cricket, but he's much better than that, and he's hit this one hard into the leg side, but only picks up a single because there's a man out there on the mid-wicket boundary. He moves to 53, 70 for no wicket.
In these situations, when you're a bowler and you've got somebody striking at just over 400, you're thinking, oh no, where do I bowl? And you just hope and pray that he's mistimed one or skewed one up in the air.
And 7 4s and 5 6s already. Milnes bowls, that's a play and a miss from Caleb Jewell. Slightly slower delivery possibly. Ran his fingers over the ball. A good over from Matt Milnes. Just 5 from that. So 10 off the last 2 overs, having seen 60 come off the first 3. Derbyshire after 5 are 70 without loss. And the ball that was hit for 6 by Caleb Jewell has now been claimed by Dan, and I hope somebody gets it off him. I might go and ask him for it and get Caleb to sign it. We can auction it off for charity or something, couldn't we? That would be a really nice touch.
The equivalent of a home run, would you say?
So we're going to see the final over of the power play now. I think...
Is there any more records that we can?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
We can beat.
I don't think they're going to beat the record.
Maybe this year's
the
top score power play.
They'd have to hit 6 off every ball.
Okay.
Will O'Rourke is going to bowl the final over of the power play. He's in to bowl to Donald, who just guides that down towards third man. It's a misfield by Chauhan. They're thinking about coming. No, they're not thinking about coming for the second. He only misfielded it a little bit, and 1 run is taken. So Derbyshire moved to 72. They were actually 71. I thought they were without loss at the end of that last over. 6 from it. Donald moves to 54. Slowed right down, hasn't he? That's 54 off 18, which was his previous record for a quickest Derbyshire half century. And the Derbyshire century record, I have no idea what it is. Dom, over to you. Oh, in a minute, because O'Rourke's coming in to bowl to Caleb Jewell, who gets one down the leg side. It won't be wide, but Johnny Bairstow's failed to take it. Oh, it is. It's 5 wides. I didn't think it was going to be signalled wide. I thought it might have come off a pad, but 5 wides helps the cause enormously. 77 without loss.
I was just wondering what Derbyshire's biggest total themselves in the power play would be.
Yeah, it's a good question. No idea. I don't know if Henry.
Oh, he's over there.
I don't know if Henry knows what Derbyshire's biggest score in a power play is. Excellent. Thanks for coming. Yeah, about 81-ish at Midlands Mania. Ish is not particularly good from a statistician. He isn't a statistician, incidentally. O'Rourke is in again and bowls to Jewell, who dances down the track at him and punches it away for 4. Out towards the mid-wicket boundary, skips up off the rope into the crowd. Jewell moves on to 20. It's 81 without loss now, so they're in that vicinity. Stephen's gone to ask Griff, which is always the best bet. Griff, I'm not sure if he knows, and it might not be a stat that he keeps in. I think a stat he's working on, and he has to go through all the scorecards, which means that he hasn't quite had time to do it yet, but he will. He'll come up with it. Come back to us in 12 months' time. O'Rourke on his way in again, bowling to Caleb Jewell, the left-hander, who gets struck amidships. And they go through, that's nasty, and they go through for a single. He might be sucking in some air at the moment, Caleb Jewell. Leg by signalled, 82 without loss. It's something that he's working on, isn't it? Yeah, I do know. I do remember now. it isn't something that is kept. So he has to go through actual score books to work that out. And he will do it over the course of the winter. You mark my words. There isn't much that David Griffin doesn't know. 11 off this over so far. 82 without loss, and Donald on 54 back on strike. In goes O'Rourke and bowls, and he's slapped it out to the offside. Oh, just beyond the reach of the fielder there. Extra cover. Who is Will Sutherland, who is very tall, and he almost got there. They come back for a couple. He moves on now to 56, does Nye Donald. 84 without loss. That was as close as anybody has come to getting out in this innings. And Sutherland is about 12 foot tall.
I think he got a hand on it, and he's a sort of athlete where give him a chance like that.
You see those catches taken,
yeah.
don't you? You do see those catches taken, but he, as tall as he is, he just couldn't quite reach it. 84 without loss. Rourke is in again, and this time he's gone for the scoop. That might be 6, you know. It is into the crowd down at the lake end of the ground. 6 to an Iron Donald, who moves on to 62. And at the end of the power play, it has to be close to a record. Derbyshire are 90 without loss. No, there's one more to go. Calm down, everybody. There's one more to go.
This is crazy,
isn't it?
When it rains, it pours at the moment for Yorkshire.
It was 80 against Leicestershire at Midlands Mania, so they've already beaten that by 10. We could have looked that up ourselves, couldn't we, really? O'Rourke is in, and Donald, he's hit on the helmet with a short delivery that he tried to pull into the leg side. We will have to have a concussion protocol. The power play ends at 90 without losses. I thought it was going to. 19 runs off that ball, but 90 without loss means that Derbyshire need a further 111 runs to win from 14 overs at 8 and over, which is more than gettable. It is lunacy what we're watching here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield. Don't think there were many Derbyshire supporters in the crowd at halfway who would have put much money on Derbyshire getting over the line for the 8th successive season against Yorkshire. But they've got every chance now, Greg.
They've given themselves the best possible chance. They only need another 111, 112?
111.
111, so a walk in the park at Chesterfield.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. I do wish I'd queued up for the toilet at half-time now, with all this excitement. At my age. Too careful. 90 without loss then after the end of the power play. Yorkshire were 51 for 1 incidentally at the end of their power play. So power play Derbyshire. Now they've got to go on and win the game. The field has spread. There's no point in fighting it. And Jordan Thompson is coming in to bowl from the lake end. Bowls to Caleb Jewell, has a swing and a miss at that one. Thompson, the man who makes things happen. I only say that every time you work with Deutsche on any kind of game of cricket. Jordan Thompson's the man who makes things happen, the Radio Leeds commentator, who is beginning to hate coming to Chesterfield himself. As Thompson is in, covers up the ball before he bowls it. It's another swing and a miss from Caleb Jewell. Really good start to the over from Jordan Thompson.
They just need to try and nullify this onslaught from Derbyshire at the moment.
They can afford the odd quiet over, can't they? Because having overs that have gone for 25, 20, 19 and 15 in the power play. Couple went for 5 and 6. They're ahead of the game. This time Jewell does get back on board. He chops it away and he's going to get 4 for it. Once it beat them out at backward point, it was going to race across the ground. Revis couldn't get there on the boundary, and it's 4 more to Jewell. 94 without loss now. Jewell moves on to 24 of well, a fairly pedestrian 18 balls.
Still getting his eye in that.
Unbelievable. An Iron Donald strike rate, 295 at the moment. He's at the non-strikers end. Thompson comes in and bowls. Is that wide? It is wide. Even Jewell couldn't reach that one. One more to the total. 95 without loss. Almost halfway there. If they don't play Bon Jovi, they're missing a trick. But they won't. But they should. 95 without loss. Remarkable. 107 more runs for Derbyshire. No, less than that. 106 more runs. That one's pushed out into the offside, but it's fielded by Milan. Jaffa Chauhan is starting to warm up away to our left-hand side. Good luck to him. Good bowler.
I think he's had big bash experience as well.
He's done a lot of franchise cricket as Jaffa Chauhan. We came through Saka, which has produced an awful lot of very fine cricketers as Thompson bowls to Jewell, who can do nothing but play that back to the bowler. On another dot ball, 95 without loss it remains. Everybody came out of the marquee when Aaron Donald was teeing off for that 13-ball half-century. One or two have stayed out. I'm not sure if it's a free bar or not. There's Thompson bowls, and that one is wide of the off stump. He gets a bottom edge on it, Caleb Jewell. And that's a terrific over from Jordan Thompson. Just 5 runs from it, 95 without loss after 7 overs. The current Derbyshire run rate is round about 13 and a half an over. And they require from here on in just over 8 an over. That's how much this onslaught, this early onslaught, has helped their cause.
Good over from Thompson as well, using all that experience, bowling it into the wicket, bowling wide as well of Jewell, not bowling into his arc, so he only got hit for 1 boundary, and then a quiet over.
Don't mind that, every now and again.
We've got to be nice to Yorkshire, haven't we?
No. It's one thing we should never be. Jaffa Chauhan is indeed coming on to bowl from the pavilion end, and he's going to be bowling to Nye Donald. Will he have a look at him first? He will have faced him before, I'm fairly sure. He's got quite a long run up as Chauhan, and he bowls, and that one is driven down the ground towards long off, where it's fielded by Sutherland, and he gets a single, and he moves to 63, 96 without loss.
His biggest challenge is going to be when he bowls at Caleb with the short square leg boundary, and I'm guessing he probably doesn't want to bowl his stop ball back into the left-hander. He probably wants to push it across with the wind as well, making him stretch for the ball.
There are 2 players out on the square boundary on the leg side, one at square leg and one at mid wicket. Chauhan bowls to Jewell, full delivery, driven down the ground with some force. Dom Bess will get around to keep it in, and they kept down to a single. It was a good bit of work by Dom Bess. Big smile on his face, a former Somerset man.
It's good to see him back as well. I know he was struggling a little bit, but looks like he's come back really nicely back at Yorkshire and found a home here.
Enjoying his cricket again. Chauhan bowls. This one, it's been launched into the leg side by an Aaron Donald. That's gone in the cob shop. No question in my mind, that has gone in the cob shop. The 100 up for Derbyshire, 103 without loss. And Donald moves on to 69. This is ridiculous. That was his 6th 6 to go along with 6 4s. This is some hitting from an Aaron Donald.
He's hitting it so clean as well, so consistently. When you're in the mood, you just got to keep going.
Going to be great for Derbyshire's net run rate in their battle to... no, we'll forget all that.
Every game's a knockout game now.
You did say that. Chauhan is in. This one is driven back down the ground. He can't quite field it, Chauhan, because it was hit very, very hard indeed by Donald, who picks up a single to move to 70. 103 without loss.
I don't think he's got any form of concussion, has he?
No, it doesn't appear to. No, that's a fair point. He's in and bowls now Chauhan to Caleb Jewell, who hits it. Has he found the gap? No, it's nicely fielded out there. They think about a second but think again. Jordan Thompson with the feeling. Jaffa Chauhan can't actually reel the ball in as it's thrown back to him. He wants a new bat. Caleb Jewell, I'm not surprised. He can't keep up, can he? He just can't keep up. Here is Chauhan again, 105 without loss, and that might be a no. It's not going to be in trouble. It's going to fall short of the field. Oh, he's going to be he misjudges the spin. Oh no, James Wharton misjudges the spin, and it goes for 4 more. And Aneiron Donald moves to 78. Derbyshire to 113. Without loss after 8 overs. 100, I'm fairly sure it hasn't gone on, has it? 74, no, it might have done actually. 109, my apologies, 109 without loss. It's enough though.
You hate to see that as well. If you've played cricket before, we've all been in that situation where it's been hit out. You've tried to predict the spin and it's gone the complete opposite way. I think the crowd behind are making him realise that.
They're giving him some, aren't they? They are giving him some. Bless him. Remarkable innings from Aneiron Donald. I've seen a couple of centuries for Derbyshire in T20 cricket. I saw Wayne Madsen get one against Durham. I saw Callum MacLeod get one against Northamptonshire. Wes Durston's got one. Greg Smith has one as well. I think they're the 4. 2 for Madsen in the end. That's a full delivery from Sutherland that is punched down the ground by Caleb Jewell for a single. 110 without loss.
They just have nothing at all, Yorkshire. They have nothing that they can do at the moment to stop this absolute onslaught from both batters, especially Donald at the moment.
Yeah, Madsen's got 2. I did name. Well, Tom Wood, of course. Sorry, Woody. Also with a T20 century. Sutherland is in and bowls to Donald. That one almost bowls him. He tries the scoop. It might have bounced over the top of the stumps, but
I think in these situations, I'd rather just see Donald try and hit it as hard as he can, not try and play these little delicate shots. But who am I to say?
Well,
the guy's on 74. Not many balls.
Indeed. 110 without loss. Donald moving around in his crease, slaps it straight back over the bowler's head. He's not going to get more than a single though, as he didn't get hold of all of that. He moves on to 75 now. 111 without loss. Donald has faced 27 balls, I think, for his 75.
This is a period where the senior players have got to put their hands up. People like Sutherland.
Bowls now to Jewell, who slaps him out to the extra cover boundary for 4. Nicely fielded, actually, by a gentleman out there in a white top. Took it in both hands. And it's 4 more to Jewell, who moves on to 31, 115 without loss.
Uncharted territory this is for Derbyshire at the moment.
And me.
And their fans.
For everybody. For everybody. Sutherland on his way in again. Jewell moves around in the crease. He might get caught here. He is going to get caught. And Caleb Jewell is the first man to go. It was a simple enough catch for Will O'Rourke. And Derbyshire lose their first wicket on 115 for 1. 31 eventually he was dismissed for. And the wicket is picked up by Will Sutherland. But it's been a terrific start, and what a great opening stand.
Fantastic. Anything over 40 or 50 for the first stand is brilliant. But this first stand, opening stand, will give Derbyshire a really good chance of chasing an above par score here at Queen's Park. Wayne just needs to knock it around. He obviously oozes in experience, so he'll be able to understand the situation and knock the ball around and get Donald on strike.
It's the highest opening stand for Derbyshire against Yorkshire, beating the 115 that David Lloyd and Aaron Donald put on at Headingley last season. They put on 114. It's a record first wicket stand against Yorkshire for Derbyshire. It's not as high as the record overall. First wicket stand was, I think, around about 150. Again, Woody involved in that with Harry Kane back in the day. So 115 for one. Wayne Madsen is the new bat. And Sutherland is on his way in to bowl. And Madsen pushes that one into the onside. And there is no run. It was the final ball of the over as well. So 6 runs off the over. 115 for one. Caleb Jewell dismissed for 31 eventually. Of 26 deliveries. He hit 4 fours and that enormous 6. In fact, he faced 26. Did I say 26? I can't remember what I said now. And only said it 30 seconds ago. It's all happening so fast, Greg.
Can't keep up, can you?
I can't keep up with myself, let alone with the match.
Everyone's running around the commentary box with records and phones and apps and stats.
Well, I did go for the record partnership, so it's a record first wicket partnership for Derbyshire against Yorkshire, but not the overall. Jaffa Chauhan to bowl over number 10. Bowls to Donald, who hits that straight back over his head for 6. Steve O'Shaughnessy signals now. It always looked like 6 to me. I was slightly concerned for a moment or two. I thought he'd hit it slightly better than he had, but he's now hit his 7th 6 to go along with his 7 fours and moves on to 82 as Derbyshire move on to 121 for one. They'll have to have a look at the ball. The bang to the head hasn't seemed to have done him any harm. He waits now, and this one is launched straight back over his head again. That'll be a 1 bounce 4, I fancy it is. 10 off the first 2 balls. He moves to 85, 125. His highest score for Derbyshire. 125 on. There's people feeding me all sorts of numbers from the right. Stephen's going to have a go now. Yeah, thank you. I'll make a note of that. Yeah, thank you.
What's a 100 record as well?
47 balls. He's only faced 29. He would become only the 5th player to score a T20 century for Derbyshire. I did quiz him about this at Edgbaston when they beat Leicestershire in the blast, Midlands Mania. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. He's 85 not out, 125 for one. Oh, it's gone straight up. That has gone straight up. Where's it coming down though? Well, it's going to be a tricky catch, and it's taken, and Aaron Donald goes for 85. It's been a magnificent innings from Aaron Donald. 125 for 2 now though. He's hit 8 fours and 7 sixes. He was just 30 balls. He's going to get a terrific ovation. There's no question about it as Samit Patel comes out to bat. But take a bow, and Aaron Donald, he was eyeing up that 3 figures. There's no question. He looks disappointed. He shouldn't. But that has been magnificent. He salutes the crowd as they applaud him from the field. And Aaron Donald, 85 of 30 balls with 8 fours and 7 sixes, having got the fastest T20 in Derbyshire's history and the equal fastest T20 in blast history. A magnificent innings.
It's great for the fans to watch that as well. Coming out of the tents to give him a round of applause there for a fantastic innings, and I don't think many of us have seen an innings like that.
Astonishing, absolutely astonishing. Some enormous hitting from an Aaron Donald. It was Wharton who took the catch in the end, steadied himself, went a long way up as well. That was a horrible one, as you say earlier, with the wind.
And I think he was the fielder that misfielded it a couple of overs before, was he not?
Yes, he was. The ball spun past him. 2 new batters out in the middle now. Samit Patel on strike, just pushes that into the offside. It might slow down a touch now. As there's a shy at the stumps as Wayne Madsen set off for a potential single. Piece of rubbish blows across the pitch, and Steve O'Shaughnessy tries to catch it, leaves it for Madsen. He can't get there. It's eventually picked up by Matthew Revis, who He'll pop it in his pocket, I'm sure. 125 for 2 as we approach the halfway point of a chase of 201. So the equation is relatively straightforward for Derbyshire, you would think, unless there's an enormous collapse. It would be remarkable if they didn't win this game from here. That's back-to-back dots, though, for Samit Patel. Duckworth Lewis par score is 90, so they're a long way in front of that. Wickets, of course, affect DLS. As Chauhan is in, Samit lifts this out into the offside for 4 runs. Nicely played, beautifully placed by Samit Patel, who has to complete the single. 4 off the final ball of the over, the final ball of the first half. 129 for 2 then, that means that 14 runs came off that one. Remarkable, really, when it didn't seem like many had come off it at all. So they now need, don't tell me, 72 off 10 overs, 7 and over.
Hopefully
in
that's
T20 cricket.
Hopefully that's a walk in the park for them now. So
it shouldn't it?
100%. And I think, look, you've got 2 really experienced batters who have been in this situation before, have been in worse situations before, and have still both got Derbyshire or Nottinghamshire over the line when Samit was playing for them. So hopefully they can put a really good partnership on and give the crowd what they want.
It's been remarkable. Madson's on strike now. Jordan Thompson returns to the bowling attack, and Madsen just guides that straight back to the bowler. Don't need to take any major risks. Thank you to Craig Nibbs, who did send me a message to say Madsen was the fastest T20 100 for Derbyshire in 47 deliveries. Sadly, I mean, Aaron Donald was about to annihilate that. But he chipped one in the air. I say chipped. In comes Thompson again. To bowl to Thompson. It's a full toss and it's clubbed into the leg side. Was that above waist height? It's gone for 4. Is it going to be a free hit? No, I don't think it is. Umpire Neil Pratt just signals 4. Must have been close to being above waist height.
In them situations, everyone looks at square leg umpire and is praying for a no ball and a free hit, but I think it just dipped below the waistline.
Bit of spicy margarita there. Don't mind if I do. As Thompson is in and bowls to Madsen, strikes him on the pad. Ball goes out into the offside. Might have got a little inside edge on that one. There was no appeal. I think in their current situation with Derbyshire 133 for 2, you would say that Yorkshire are going to appeal for just about everything. I know I would be. I'd be hiding, making sure I didn't catch the captain's eye if I was a bowler. As Thompson is in, bowls to Madsen, pushes it out into the offside. No run. Fielded by Milan at extra cover.
This is the only danger with scoring 200 or above par score. If they get a couple of quiet overs here, the run rate just climbs above 7s, up to 8s and 9s. I sound like you, Fletch, don't I?
But I can't believe you've been so negative. Here comes Thompson in and bowls to Madsen, who pulls this into the leg side for a single. They've already got 5 off this one with that boundary, and now a single to Wayne Madsen, who moves on to 5. 134 for 2. I know what you're saying now. We should take nothing for granted even now.
They can't be too complacent.
No.
But they do have enough runs and enough experience to give themselves a few dots, but just need to keep that momentum going.
Well, Martin Anderson, who's batted at 3, Harry Kane, who shared in that opening stand with Tom Wood of 150, which was Derbyshire's highest. I think Woody must have gone on to make the century in that game. Still to come as Samit just guides the ball very pleasantly out towards the cover boundary, and easy as you like, Derbyshire pick up 6 off the over. 135 for 2. 5 both Madsen and Samit Patel. And even if Yorkshire have a couple of quiet overs, they know they're up against it here, don't they? 135 for 2 means that they need 68 runs off 54 balls. I mean, you'd fancy that in a championship game.
Yeah, it's only them that can lose it now. as always, whenever Samit's on, the opposition always try and bring on their quickest bowler.
It's caught a stray bit of cellophane that was about to fly across and potentially harm our broadcast. As the wind really does start to get up, which rather suggests there might be a storm on the way. Duckworth Lewis 107, 135 for 2. O'Rourke is in, and that one is played nicely off the back foot by Samit Patel out into the offside for a single. I know you're enjoying it wherever you're listening, Derbyshire supporters. Just a modicum of calm has been brought to the proceedings after Caleb Jewell made 31 in a stand of 115 with an Aaron Donald, who eventually went for 85, including the fastest equal T20 blast half century. Madsen on strike now. O'Rourke bowls. Oh, he almost chopped somebody. He's going to get 4 runs down a fine leg for it. When it's your day, isn't it?
I was just about to say that, took the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry.
There. But I let you have that one, Fletch. Don't worry about that. But it's crazy. It's crazy when it's not going your way. Things like that just creep into the innings. Just a little inside edge down to fine leg and past the fielder for 4.
And I guarantee that the Yorkshire supporters in the ground will say, well, of course you had all the luck, didn't you, when Madsen edged that one down to fine leg. Yeah, what about the others? Here's O'Rourke over the wicket to Madsen, and Madsen just guides that out into the offside. Beautiful stroke for a single out towards Jordan Thompson. He moves on to 10 now, 141 for 2. My maths is being severely tested. 60 runs to win. Not tested that much in this instance, but 60 to win. And there are still a thick end of 9 overs to go.
I think the Yorkshire team are still shell-shocked into what actually happened at the top of the Derbyshire innings.
First division side, don't forget. As O'Rourke is in again over the wicket to bowl to Samit, who's lifted that one straight to Don Bess at mid-on. And he's out. A comfortable catch for Dom Bess. O'Rourke picks up his first wicket. Samit goes for 6 as Ross Whiteley comes out to bat. Still no Harry Kane, still no Martin Anderson. There's a lot more batting, it seems, in this Derbyshire side than perhaps there has been in recent times. It was a run of ball 6 for Samit Patel. And Derbyshire now 141 for 3.
Milan wanted to bring on the quick bowler just specifically for that moment, and the plans worked.
I said it yesterday in commentary, that is Samit's one weakness is the ball banged in short. It always has been, and clearly word gets around, doesn't it?
And Will O'Rourke is a quick bowler. I've seen him bowl on TV for New Zealand. And he's got up to the 90-95 mile an hour mark, so there's method in the madness.
Tall man, O'Rourke, good head of hair. He's just run his fingers through it. It's very high, his hair, isn't it? I've just noticed how tall his hair is. I'm not normally a hair man. 141 for 3. O'Rourke is going to go around the wicket to the left-handed Ross Whiteley, who can start a little slowly. This one is banged in short. He ducks underneath it, goes down the leg side. It's signalled wide. I think that's a little harsh on O'Rourke. I'll give Yorkshire that harshness on that one. It did go down the leg side eventually, but it seemed to go over his back.
I think the angle that we're at as well, Fletch, I think it looked a lot straighter than what it actually was.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm telling you off there.
Well, it's not in my nature to be fair to Yorkshire, in fairness. I know there'll be a lot of Yorkshire folk watching this, so you've just got to be careful. As O'Rourke is on his way in again to bowl to Whiteley, who clips this away down towards fine leg for his first run. 143 for 3 now. 58 to win off 49 balls. I've got to love a computer, you know. Without a computer, I don't think I could do this job. Oh,
there'll be robots doing it soon. There'll be a robotic version of Fletch.
Thanks very much. falling over all the time. Once they fall over, they can't get back up. Here goes O'Rourke into bowl to Madsen, who gets a short, wide delivery and just flicks it away out towards the backward point boundary for 4 more. Wayne Madsen joining in the fun. He moves to 14, end of the over, 1-4-7 for 3. It means that 12 came off that one, which is more than enough. Griff's going to write me a note, which is always exciting. Yes. Yeah, we've mentioned it was a hybrid pitch. They don't do anything, do they? They don't do anything.
They help Derbyshire win. That's what they do.
Not quite as insightful from Griff as I'd hoped, but good. I don't say too much because he's sitting down right next to me now, and I've warned him that there is a microphone not too far away from him. And who's coming on now? Don Bess is back into the attack, with Derbyshire requiring just another 54 runs from 48 balls. The rain in the far distance has passed. That's good news. Douglas Lewis says 119. They're 147 for 3. And Ross Whiteley slaps the first ball, bowled by Don Bess, out into the offside. It's fielded by David Milan, who is one person I know who doesn't like playing at Chesterfield. Doesn't like the place at all. Whiteley miscues a ball out towards long on for a single. Moves on to 2, 148 for 3. Certainly by some of the things he was saying last year during the championship match, he doesn't like Chesterfield. Parked too far away. There.
First world problems.
Aren't they just? Changing rooms are too small. 148 for 3. Man out on the mid-wicket boundary has just been moved a little squarer. As Bess comes in to bowl to Madsen, who pulls it where the man pretty much, not quite where he'd been, but it's a fine shot out towards. That's always called cow corner, but he placed that there, which makes it sound like it's just a slog. But he knew what he was doing, didn't he, Wayne Madsen?
Plays spin really well with his hockey experience and also just the volume of matches he's played.
49 to win now as Madsen pushes that next delivery out into the onside for another single. He moves on to 19, 153 for 3. I keep reminding myself we're only in the 13th over here. Remarkable.
Just imagine if we were batting first.
Yeah, there'd probably be 72 for 7 by now. As Bess bowls, Whiteley gets enough on that to get it down towards fine leg. It's racing away. The fielder's coming round, but he can't get there. It was a valiant attempt. A really valiant attempt by Will Luxton, but he can't get there. The ball goes for 4 more. And his first boundary, Ross Whiteley. He moves on now to 6. We've given those 4 to Wayne Madsen, who is clearly right-handed. At 156 for 3. There we go. Been corrected. There's this next one. Oh, he's struck on the pad. There's an appeal, not from the bowler. The ball dribbles out backward square on the offside for a leg by. The over comes to an end. 158 for 3. So 11 off that one. And at 158 for 3. Derbyshire need 43 more runs off 42 balls to win this game. And you would say they would do it in a canter from here. They almost have to. Still with Harry Kane to come, still with Martin Anderson to come, and Alex Thompson and Zach Chappell, who we saw bat really nicely yesterday at Old Trafford in defeat. Dom finally breaks his duck. Don't worry, Dom. I didn't see Derbyshire win a county championship match until halfway through my 2nd season.
My last one was here.
Yes.
Just keep coming back in.
Yeah, they should play all their T20s. It is something that it hasn't been seriously suggested, I don't think, but bringing Nottinghamshire here and the teams that don't like going to out grounds necessarily, bring them here to Chesterfield. The atmosphere is fantastic. We talked about the crowd being right on top of the players. Derbyshire clearly enjoy playing here. Jordan Thompson is back.
Other than Chesterfield, where's your favourite outground, Fletch?
I haven't been to many because there are so few now. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Cheltenham. You're side on. No food. Thompson bowls to Whiteley, who drives that up towards Dom Bess at mid-off, who shies at the stumps, hits them. He was well home now. Ross Whiteley, who moves to 7. I like Aigburth. It's a really good ground. But again, we're side on at Aigburth, but it's a really nice ground. Blackpool was nice. Lancashire play a lot of outground cricket, which is why they enjoyed coming here so much last week. They've just been to Blackpool. They also play at Southport. They play up at...
They're building another ground as well,
just north of Preston. It's got 2 grounds in one with a joint pavilion. So that should be online next year, certainly for community cricket and the age groups.
And did they play at Sebra?
Sebra School. Yeah.
Harry Brook went there, I believe.
His cricket master, as Thompson bowls, and that one is pushed by Madsen up to long on. Sitting at the far end of this desk, he was the man who mentored Harry Kane, played for Durham. Well, I can't remember his name. He's a wicket keeper. I was talking to him before. My apologies for not remembering him. He's currently working for Radio Leeds, but he's now the cricket master at Repton, where Derbyshire are going. That'll be a nice outground when they play the 50-over game there. Thompson in to bowl to Ross Whiteley, who tries to he does pull it into the leg side. It drops just short of the fielder in at close-ish mid-wicket. Dot ball, 160 for 3.
Did him for pace there as well. Hit Ross's bat high on the splice.
And James Wharton thought he was in the game for a moment, but he hit it so poorly that it dropped a long way short of Wharton. Now he waits. 7 not out. Make that 8. No run. Good piece of fielding. And a shot at the stumps and an overthrow. So make that 8. That was probably worth a shy at the stumps. Probably. But when things aren't going your way, well, let's not forget Derbyshire actually gave Yorkshire 4 overthrows, otherwise they wouldn't have got to 200. 161 for 3 now. Ross Whiteley's jumped from 7 to 80 on the scoreboard, which is a very good effort. That's a big hit, isn't it? That is a big hit.
That's like stick cricket.
I think it's 161. There we go. It's gone back to normal again, and this time Madsen pushes the ball into the onside. Look at another single out towards Dom Bess. 162 for 3. Madsen moves on to 21. There have been many times in the last 16 years when Derbyshire have got 162 for 3, and Wayne Madsen's had a bat that he's not going to be the man on the tip of everybody's tongue at the end of it. Nobody will want to speak to him, will they? No.
Everyone will forget him.
Not interested in Wayne Madsen today. Top scored yesterday at Old Trafford. Ross Whiteley on strike. Thompson ball, short delivery down the leg side wide. I understand Thompson's exasperation here as somebody. I mean, it's never an all-rounder like your good self, but I couldn't bat, so I sort of had to bowl. And they've just got nothing. They get nothing in this form of cricket. Any form of white ball cricket. You basically got to bowl on the stumps, in which case they're going to hit you away to the leg side boundary, or outside off stump, in which case they're going to hit you to the offside boundary. Thompson is in, and that one has been launched into the air. He might be out here. There's a fielder running round who almost takes a one-handed catch. He's got away with it as Ross Whiteley. Again, he didn't hit it particularly well. It was a good effort by Matthew Revis.
And as I was saying, it would have been a great catch, but I think the wind was a big factor in that when it went straight up in the air. Sometimes it's difficult to judge whether it's coming to you, how quick it's coming to you, and sometimes the wind just deceives your mind there.
Well, there's 6 overs to go now, and Derbyshire need 36 runs to win. They could do it in an over. They won't, but they could. The required rate has plummeted to 6 and over, and when it started it was 10. Just over 10, in fact, but only just over 10. Try and get some reaction from Nyron Donald before we go off air this evening. I'm sure Nye will be queuing up to speak to people, and people will be queuing up to speak to him. As a new over begins, Wayne Madsen just pushes it straight back to the bowler, who is Matt Milnes. Milnes has bowled 2 overs for 31, which is a good effort because his first one went for 25. Those first 3 overs were so punishing, weren't they, for Yorkshire? 60 runs in the first 3 overs. Really laid the foundations for this remarkable run chase here at Queen's Park. As Milnes bowls, it's pulled into the leg side by Madsen 4. He's too far in front of square. Gibbo likes it next to us. He's got a booming voice, the boy, hasn't he? 169 for 3. Madsen on to 25. I'll keep him off there.
I don't think I've ever seen a complete batting performance. I know I'm speaking a little bit too soon, but I think it's been a fantastic, structured innings.
Well, no pressure in the end, was it? Due to those 60 runs off the first 3 overs, the pressure sort of dissipated and everybody felt good.
Zach Chappell's last over seems very economical now, shall we say?
Well, it does. You're absolutely right. His last over went for 24. We've had a 25 run over in this innings. Milnes from this man. Bowls wide of the off stump. Madsen strikes him down the ground. 1 bounce 4. Over the man at the long on. And into the advertising boards at the far end of the ground. He moves to 29. 173 for 3 now. 28 more runs. Derbyshire will be home and hosed for the 8th successive season here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield. An absolutely remarkable run chase. They're about 40 ahead of Duckworth Lewis. Madsen waits and clips that one up wide of the man at long on this time. They've run a single. He had to run around the bowler, Matt Milnes. He only picks up a single this time, moves to 30. 30 off 17 balls on the quiet. Madsen, a strike rate around about 175 thereabouts. Even Ross Whiteley, who doesn't appear to have hit a single ball out of the middle of his bat, is striking at 111.
Looks like Jordan Thompson's been the pick of the bowlers so far for Yorkshire.
Yeah, 3 overs for 18 in the carnage that's gone on out there. They're going to miss him when he goes to Warwickshire.
Yeah, we keep on saying it. It's a bizarre move, I think, because Warwickshire have already got Ed Barnard, who's a really fantastic all-rounder. It may be a competition between them two who gets picked, but...
Well, you'd move heaven and earth as a Yorkshire committee to keep him, wouldn't you? I would. Milnes bowls. There we go. He's into the groove, and that's gone for 6. Out towards the nets, away to our right for Ross Whiteley. He moves on to 16. 180 for 3. 21 more runs required now for what would be an 8th successive win here at Chesterfield against Yorkshire. That was a bit like Caleb Jules, wasn't it? Just sort of helped it on its way.
Downwind as well.
Marvellous.
Straight over the nets.
Absolutely terrific stuff from Derbyshire, this. And comes Milnes again, and he goes for another big one. He got a bit out of shape there in the end by the time the ball had gone past him. The over comes to an end. 15 from him. 180 for 3 after 15. Still 5 overs to go. Matt Milnes has now bowled 3 overs for 46. Will O'Rourke 3 overs for 44. Don Best 2 overs for 29. Will Sutherland 2 overs 1 for 11, which is decent in itself. 3 overs for 18, as we say, Jordan Thompson, and Jaffa Chauhan 2 overs 1 for 28. Yorkshire know that they're heading for defeat now.
Even though Derbyshire's backs are up against the ropes in the competition, if they do chase this, which they should take an immense amount of confidence from this.
Back-to-back games coming up at the end of the week. Home to Worcestershire on Thursday and then away at Northamptonshire on Friday. Sutherland back into the attack, pulled into the leg side by Wayne Madsen. There is a man out there, and they have to settle for one. It is Sutherland, isn't it? Looks like him. Unless there are 2 of them. 181 for 3, 20 more runs required. It is Will Sutherland. David Milan's having a chat with him. I just want to finish this game off and get out of here if I was Yorkshire. I'm sure they'll want something to eat. John Sadler, formerly of this parish, is sitting there in his Yorkshire tracksuit. Resigned look on his face. He's seen a few Derbyshire wins here as well over the years, I'm sure, as Sutherland bowls. That one is played into the leg side by Ross Whiteley for a single. 182 for 3, 17 to Whiteley, 31 to Wayne Madsen. That's 31 off 18 balls, by the way. So it's not been as slow, says David Griffin next to me. Well, compared to an Iron Donald, who made 85 off 30, it is a little bit slow, but we'll let him off. He's on strike now. Sutherland bowls to him a full toss. He doesn't take advantage of it because it's fielded by Dawid Milan at extra cover, or in the covers really. It's not quite extra cover. Just getting a little bit chillier out there. I can see one or two coats going on, closing in a bit. 32 ahead of Duckworth Lewis at this stage, Derbyshire. They wouldn't go off at this point. We've seen games finish in pouring rain here at Chesterfield as Madsen waits for that one and just chops it away out towards the point boundary for a single. Jordan Thompson does the fielding. 183 for 3. Madsen moves on to 32. I remember interviewing Leicester Ploy after a particularly memorable innings against Yorkshire, which got them over the line, and I have never interviewed a damper cricketer. He was drenched because it poured down. Sutherland bowls. Whiteley gets a short delivery, pulls it into the leg side for a single. Moves on to 18, 184 for 3. I may have said yesterday, there's nothing worse than watching a game of white ball cricket of any length in which you know the outcome and you've got to wait for it. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. It must be just the other way around.
You want it to last as long as possible.
Sutherland in to Madsen, who pulls this one around the corner. There's a fielder down there at long leg. So he picks up another run, moves to 33, 185. Just 5 runs off that over, 185 for 3, but 4 overs to go. Derbyshire needs 16 runs to win this one.
Sutherland's bowled very well.
Yeah, no, that's fair comment. 1 for 16, I think, 1 for 17 off 3. Will O'Rourke getting the money's worth out of the overseas here.
You never want to take it into the last over, so they probably want to do it within the next 3 overs.
If this goes into the last over, I will. Have you got a hat? You have. I'll eat your hat. There we go. This should be over within 2 overs, I fancy. 185 for 3, then 16 more runs required.
It's raining a little bit.
Excellent. Always like to see a game here at Chesterfield finish in the rain. Madsen has a swing and a miss at the first ball from O'Rourke. It's actually pouring it down, which it wouldn't be Chesterfield T20 if it wasn't raining by the end. Umpires are just looking nervously at the skies. Yorkshire won't want to go up. Well, they probably will because
they're used to this weather, aren't they? Good old Yorkies.
Well, I think if you listen to Samit Patel, he thinks it rains all the time in the northwest. Here's O'Rourke on his way in, bowls to Madsen, who lifts this out towards the extra cover boundary for 4. 189 for 3 now. They are closing in. 12 left for Derbyshire to get. It looked like a passing shower, in fairness. 1 or 2 umbrellas up in the crowd, but just a passing shower. Spare a thought for those of us who've got to go out with electrical equipment and go and speak to some people. They'll be queuing up to talk to us tonight. 189 for 3. Madsen on 37. O'Rourke bowls to him. Short ball pulled into the leg side. Straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. It was James Wharton and there's no run. Because of the 2:30 start, of course, we will have time to bring you that reaction, which is great news. The joy of Chesterfield. Live broadcast from Chesterfield means that we can always get you some reaction, and it has always been in recent times reaction to a win. And this next delivery is pulled into the leg side by Madsen. That might be 4. No, the fielder's got around, picks up another single. moves on to 37, 190 for 3. The chance of Derbyshire start. Always good to hear. You don't hear them very often anymore. Get the Sunday League back, that's what I say. 40 over cricket on a Sunday afternoon in the park.
They should have been singing during the power play. We're on our way.
Yeah.
I've left it too late.
11 to win now. Of 20 balls. O'Rourke bowls. Oh, he scooped that. He's just played it off the top of the blade, and it's looped over the bowler and landed it safely. So Ross Whiteley remains on 18. It's 11 off 19. We don't really need that particular countdown. Madsen deep in conversation with Neil Pratt, the umpire at the far end, the lake end. Steve O'Shaughnessy enjoying a chat with anybody who'll talk to him. He's at point rather than square leg for Ross Whiteley. O'Rourke is in and bowls to him, and he pulls it around the corner, probably off his gloves, and it dribbles into the leg side. Fielders descend on the ball from all directions. And one more to the total. 191, so 10 to win off 3 overs. 191 for 3, just the 6 runs off that over.
This will be a very good chase as well. Anything over 200 is a really good chase. I don't think Derbyshire have chased this score quite often, have they?
I've got something I need to ask David Griffin, really. How many times Derbyshire have successfully chased 200? He's just doing some photographs at the moment, so he'll perhaps help me out in a moment. I'm sure he can tell more here. See, he's straight on it. Jordan Thompson to bowl over number 18.
Once.
They've only chased it once.
Just 2023.
In 2023. Thompson in and bowls. That one is a big hit from Whiteley. It's gone for 6 out towards long on. 197 for 3 now. And they need 5 off 17 deliveries. They need 4 off 17 deliveries. Ross Whiteley, 25 not out of 16 balls, and it's complete madness. So it's only the second time Derbyshire will have chased 200 to win a game of T20 cricket. David Griffin getting into position to take the pictures as the players leave the field. 4 to win. Whiteley on strike, Thompson bowling. He's on his way in now. Ross Whiteley waits and top edges it down to the boundary for 4. And for the 8th successive time here at Chesterfield, Derbyshire have beaten Yorkshire, this time very much against the odds, as they chased down a total of 200 for only the second time in their history. The first was at Edgbaston in 2023. Now they've done it at Chesterfield in 2025. And Aaron Donald, the star of the show, the equal fastest T20 blast half century of just 13 balls on his way to a magnificent 85 off 30. A century opening stand with Caleb Jewell, who made 31. 38 not out Wayne Madsen, 29 not out Ross Whiteley. And Yorkshire are vanquished again at Queen's Park in Chesterfield.
Well, it didn't go wrong. There we go. Fantastic stuff. Derbyshire again victorious here at Queen's Park. Fantastic commentary, Dave Fletcher and Greg Court to my right-hand side. Greg, look, we had every reason to doubt this side on the summer they've had, but they've come out and they've answered plenty of questions there.
They've got absolutely nothing to lose, and the sad thing is they've shown what they can do. You don't chase 200 a lot, and obviously it's the second time, and I think for the neutral, if you're a neutral fan here, it was a really good game, and a fantastic chase.
To do it with overs to spare as well, how much confidence will that give them going into the next week?
The thing is, they can chase anything now. not many T20 scores that are above 200, and they can chase absolutely anything down now. So this is a knockout game. They've won it, so they've just got to move on to Thursday against Worcester.
How special was what we witnessed from Nye Donald?
I don't think I've ever seen an innings like that. I don't even think even these international players like Zabersto and Milan have probably seen as destructive innings as what Donald just played there, and a brilliant experience for everyone to watch.
It goes back to 2010. This isn't something that comes around very often. Marcus Trescothick, easy for me to say, initially setting the record back in 2010. Just to clarify, if you're just joining us, and Aaron Donald hit 50 runs from 13 balls. That is a T20 Blast joint record with a big name in English cricket as well, Greg. Just in terms of the magnitude, in terms of the clear ability of Nye Donald, how do we see this more often from him?
I just think it's the confidence. I think we all knew that he had something like that in him. It's unfortunate that it's taken him this long. You know, I know he's had a couple of good scores, but this score has been a match-winning innings.
Well, he's just taking some pictures, rightly so, I think, with either sponsors. Yep, he's got the champagne in his hand, in his left hand, he clutches it, he walks forward, he's going to speak to Matt McGibbon, the PA here at Queen's Park. Dave Fletcher scuttling over there as well to get a word with him. Not impressed by my description there, as he heads into the hordes of supporters and he's waved over to try and get involved in the conversation with Nye Donald. This is going to be one of the easier interviews he's ever done, isn't it, Greg?
Yeah, I think he will obviously reflect and say it was a team effort, but single-handedly he's won the game for Derbyshire.
But also to get that record and Derbyshire win, how important is that?
Yeah, two boxes to tick, and he's done them. So it's the best feeling in the world when the team wins. You know, deep down, he won't probably say it on social media or any of his interviews. It's a good feeling when you've done it yourself.
Well, let's bring in Dave Fletcher, who is surrounded on the outfield. He's having Nye Donald brought over to him.
Nye was going to go upstairs and sing